find yourself sitting on a couch, watching a scary video on YouTube. Your friend is there, hopefully to make you feel a little less afraid. However, the journey you're going on tonight is not for the faint of heart. For you see, it is a journey of madness, sanity, and insanity. You may think you have it all together. You may think you understand the picture, but you don't. Our protagonist, Nick, thinks he might understand the story that's going on. But after 3 grueling days, his mind is broken. So let's follow him, and hopefully we can remain intact within the Thompson extension.
Howdy, once again, gamers, and welcome back to the couch, where you and I will sit down and watch an analog horror together, because watching an analog horror is easier with friends. It's finally time. It's finally time to cover the Thompson extension. What is the Thompson extension? The Thompson extension has been a thorn in my side. Not the nicest way to put it, but it's been a thorn because it's been eating away at me for over a year. The Thompson extension came out in 2023. It debuted on TikTok. I got fed a few of the videos, and then I found the YouTube channel, Bad Dreams 1985, where at first I thought it was like one of those emerging AI slop channels. Oh, how wrong I was. After spending multiple days covering this series, recording it all, reacting to it, I was taken aback by how insane this series was. Insane in its storytelling, insane in its delivery. Basically, to sum it up, this is going to be a liminal horror, a la The Backrooms, a la House of Leaves. You get the idea. That's my bread and butter. I am a sucker for liminal spaces. So when I saw this, I was hooked. I posted a reaction.
What the hell did I just watch?
That TikTok blew up, and I'm like, sorry, where did this come from? And people are curious about it. Where can I watch this? Where can I watch this? So here I am, doing this again. I wanted to do it justice, because this is not your typical series. Much like most liminal spaces, it is non-Euclidian. It doesn't make sense. It does not follow our laws of reality. It is confusing, it is redundant, it repeats itself, and it loops a lot. Is this intentional? I have no clue. There used to actually be a website that had a lot of ARG elements to this. The website is no longer available. I even tried looking it up on the Wayback Machine, and I could only get one snapshot right here. It will make sense later, I promise. We're going to be tackling this one a little more seriously, because there's a lot to cover. So, in order to do that, you're going to need to follow me into the next room. Come on. Come on, it's all right. The Thompson extension is not like your typical analog horror that I've covered here on the channel before. Today, we're taking a different kind of journey. So, we're going over the ground rules of how this is going to work. So, here are the things you need to know. Number 1, there are over 65 videos in the channel playlist, and that is not including additional videos that have been added over time, not added to the playlist. Also, some fan projects that are considered canon. Please don't make me cover them. I'm already losing my mind. Point number 2. This is a liminal space horror. This means it follows a non-Euclidian path. This also includes the video order and the understanding of timeline and chronological events. The video will be broken up into separate parts containing different amounts of videos per part. I will be labeling them in the chapters below. Hopefully I did it correctly. And that leads me to point number 3, how the story will be told. Each part will be presented differently, especially different than what we normally do on Drippy Ghost, where I just sit back, relax, and watch the series with you in real time. This one involves a lot of me narrating large blocks of text across multiple videos. Those videos can range from a couple seconds to multiple minutes long, where I'm not stopping and starting every 5 minutes just to read the text. I am going to go into those parts, simply narrating everything in a nice, calm, relaxing way, spooky way, where you just want to sit back, relax, and listen. So, at the end of those parts are when I will give my thoughts and opinions on where we're at, where the story's going, what we know so far, so nobody gets lost. And I will be able to keep myself on track, because trust me, I have been taking extensive notes in order to keep this on track. However, that's not every part. Some parts do have voiceovers. And with those voiceovers being AI generated, of course, given that the series is, well, but we will be reacting to those in the normal Drippy Ghost way, where we sit on the couch and we react in real time, and I give my quirky little quips and jokes or whatever, whether you find those funny or not. So it might go from a lot of narration to some voiceovers to narration, or back and forth. So that's everything I really wanted to cover. And the Thompson extension is right up my alley. It is a liminal, non-Euclidian nightmare that appeals to our most carnal and perverse desires. This is gonna be really weird and really, really exhausting in the best way. I promise you. Stick with me all the way to the end, and it'll be worth it. Without further ado, let's venture in to the Thompson extension.
Part 1. Incidents of the Extension. Various incidences and events caused by the Thompson extension. These are the reports given by the specialists.
Not to contradict my formal self, but I will be popping in here and there throughout the narration to give my reaction to stuff, because it's warranted. I mean, you've watched other videos on my channel, right? Right? And you're subscribed. Right? We're trying to get to 1K subscribers, people. YouTube says I have to meet the milestone. Like a dad on their way to SeaWorld. We're gonna have fun! We're going to have fun! Stop fighting! The Thompson family went missing whilst under investigation for tax evasion. Police were called to the Thompsons' home after neighbors reported hearing keening sounds coming from the inside. The home interior was furnished with unusual exotic items and furniture. The police searched Mr. Thompson's basement den and discovered a second room behind a curtain. The room connected to another not included in the house floor plan. It was initially believed to be a non-approved extension connected to another room. And another. To this day, the Thompson extension has never been fully explored due to its gargantuan size. The Thompsons remain missing despite the continuous keening sounds emanating from the extension. So, for those who don't know, keening is another word for like guttural moaning, or like that sound. It's the best way to do it. Linda Mayer, intrepid photographer, was part of a team commissioned to survey and document the Thompson's extension. The crew traversed endless network of chambers, each more perplexing than the last. But the room that left an undeniable mark on Linda was the playroom. Photographs taken by Linda. Upon exiting the extension, Linda felt changed. She tried to shake off the unsettling feeling, attributing it to the eeriness of her experience. Yet the playroom lingered in her mind, night after haunting night. As days turned to weeks, Linda started experiencing horrifying nightmares. She was back in the playroom, but not as her adult self. She was a terrified infant, crawling aimlessly. Each time, an ominous sense of looming presence intensified her fear. She felt hunted. The fear was unseen. Presence was far worse than the terror of isolation. One day, Linda awoke for the last time. Sleep suddenly evaded her grasp. Her bed a cage, her mind trapped between memories of the playroom and a waking nightmare. The line between dream and reality blurred, leaving her ensnared in perpetual twilight. A visit to a specialist revealed a grim diagnosis: fatal familia insomnia, a rare relentless condition with no known cure. As her health deteriorated, Linda often whispered to friends, "Part of me never left that room. It's still there, waiting." Good God, Linda! Oof. Really sucked the life out of her. Alexander Mercer. Hang on. The only reason I know this is because I recently replayed the Prototype games. Y'all remember the Prototype games for like the PS3, Xbox 360? These ones? But Alex Mercer is the name of the main character in the first game. Rest in peace, the infamous Prototype game we never got thanks to this f***ing abomination. Alexander Mercer, a geospatial engineer, part of the team assigned to map the Thompson extension in 1982. Photograph taken 3 years pre-buccal cavity ablation procedure. We're pausing to look up what the hell that means. Okay, so it looks like buccal cavity ablation procedure is like a made-up thing, but buccal cavity is just a funky term to use for basically your mouth or the mouth region. It's kind of a more scientific way of saying the first part of the digestive tract. Can't say that right. So basically, it's the start of the first hole to your other holes, if that makes sense. Ablation is more akin to like helping your heart regulate like beating, and like it's a type of open heart surgery that leads to you having to use a machine like a artificial heart, a pacemaker, stuff like that. So this makes me think they had some kind of artificial mouth or way he couldn't talk anymore, so he had to get like some surgery to help him talk again. Well, shit. While mapping out the extension, Alex became separated to DTKM, Thompson Den kilometers, from the entrance. This section of the Thompson extension is dominated by the containment basins. It is believed the purpose of these basins is for holding runoff from the other parts of the extension, preventing flooding. Yet occasionally, the water levels seem to rise and fall in unnatural rhythm, like the slow breathing of some vast entity, suggesting that perhaps they contain more than just water. While the majority of these basins are the size of a regular swimming pool, Alex is reported to have fallen into one estimated to be the size of 16 football stadiums. He spent 24 harrowing hours treading water in the engulfing darkness before he was rescued. After leaving the Thompson extension, Alex began to manifest a severe case of hydrophobia, an irrational fear of water commonly associated with rabies. Over the course of several months, this fear intensified, making Alex terrified not just of external water sources, but even of his own saliva. Desperate, Alex sought out an underground physician, willing to perform an unthinkable procedure: the removal of his mouth. The procedure involved removing the labium superis oris and labium inferius oris, sealing off the mouth cavity, and rerouting the digestive system to allow feeding through a tube. However, complications soon arose. Infection set in, and Alex began to reject the modifications. 16 hours post-buccal cavity ablation procedure, Mercer family have requested that the full image be censored out of respect for Alex. Siobhan Donahue, missionary, 1992, 4 years pre-stage 4 ectomorphic fusion syndrome, or EFS. Siobhan, along with a missionary group of 6, entered the mysterious Thompson extension, intending to find the spiritual essence of the place. Within the intricate maze of the extension, most drapes serve merely as veils for empty walls or doorways to other rooms. Yet in one distinct chamber, Siobhan found that not all curtains concealed such mundane sights. The Stygian Atrium, distance from the Thompson Den, 0.3 TDK, Thompson Den kilometers. Siobhan and her group formed a prayer circle, seeking solace and unity as the final amen echoed. An inexplicable urge drew her to one particular curtain, compelling her to peer behind it. She described the void as devoid of God, an emptiness so profound that it struck her core. It was a blackness that no light, not even divine, could penetrate. Some theorize the extension is, in reality, expanding into this void, accounting for its immeasurable size and unsettling atmosphere it radiates. After her encounter, Sayoban reported a pervasive numbness, a hollowness that matched the void she had witnessed. Weeks after leaving the extension, this feeling intensified, and she was diagnosed with ectomorphic fusion syndrome, EFS. EFS is a rare and progressive neuropsychological disorder characterized by the patient's delusional beliefs and perception of merging or fusing with the surroundings. The condition often stems from the profound traumatic experiences related to the feelings of emptiness, isolation, or exposure to the vast void-like spaces. Sayoban began to feel an unquenchable need to expand herself. Initially, it was subtle. She started eating more, feeling the need to physically grow and fill her perceived emptiness. Eating did not satisfy the compulsion. Sayoban began body modification. At first, it was minor implants. However, her modifications became more grotesque and invasive, as if she was trying to make herself larger, more sprawling, less human. After Sayoban's unsettling venture into the Thompson extension, her behavior grew increasingly erratic, and her family grew concerned. However, nothing could prepare them for the horrifying discovery they'd make 6 months later. While her parents' home underwent its own extension, a noxious and foul odor began wafting up from the crawl space. When they went to investigate, they uncovered a scene of horror. Sayoban had been there, gruesomely fused to the house's foundation. In a grotesque attempt to sustain herself, she had rerouted the home's water supply and waste disposal pipes directly into her esophagus. The gnarled abrasion on her limbs suggested she had wedged herself within the confines of the foundation amongst the maze of pipework. What? The scene was made more tragic when they deduced what had transpired. Her father, plagued by advancing cognitive decline, had unwillingly left a tap running for days. Coupled with the ingestion from the waste pipe, Sayoban's body swelled, leading her to her tragic demise. Jesus Christ. I forgot about this. So, here's the thing. On the website, there was an uncensored version. I still have that image. It's gross. Honestly, this is the thing that this scenario is disgusting. The harrowing impact of her encounter in the Stygian chamber had left an undeniable mark on the very foundations of the Donahue family home. And no shit, she became the family home. The degeneration of Mrs. Thompson. After the baffling disappearances associated with the Thompson extension and the myriad of mysteries surrounding the family, the community's focus eventually shifted towards Mrs. Thompson's artistry. At first glance, her artwork appears innocuous. Pastoral scenes, simple portraits, and abstract splashes. Nothing stood out. Mrs. Thompson's reputation as a kind-hearted, community-driven woman drove local families to acquire her pieces more out of empathy than aesthetic appreciation. Months before her mysterious disappearance, whispers began circulating about Mrs. Thompson's deteriorating health. Sightings of her, although rare, revealed a figure covered in bandages, limping, with a demeanor that was a shadow of her former self. Hushed conversations hinted at leprosy, a disease not commonly seen in the area. As her physical health seemed to wane, her artistic expressions became even more erratic and haunting. I would buy one. However, an incident in a local residence shook the community's perception of these paintings. A severe fire engulfed the house of one of the owners of a Thompson artwork. Firefighters swiftly doused the flames, salvaging what they could from the charred remnants. Among the smoke-damaged items was one of Mrs. Thompson's paintings. The intensity of the fire had stripped away layers of paint, revealing a deeply unsettling self-portrait of Mrs. Thompson. Her depiction was distorted, haunting, with eyes that seemed to capture an intense anguish, or perhaps a sinister secret. Expert analysis revealed that the pigment used in the portrait was not just color. Microscopic evaluations indicated the presence of blood vessels, capillaries, and hints of nervous tissue embedded within the paint strokes. The portrait was not merely a representation of Mrs. Thompson, but contained traces of her very essence. Today, an estimated 500 of Mrs. Thompson's paintings silently occupy walls in unsuspecting homes. Owners remain oblivious, living side by side with concealed remnants of Mrs. Thompson's grim legacy. The Matriarch's Veil, 1985. Class 4B, Origin Primary, 1989. Picture taken 4 days prior to the tragic Hollow Crest incident. The school bus, taken the morning of the accident, on its return from a school trip, tragedy struck. The aftermath, a sudden sinkhole 200 feet deep, claimed the lives of all on board. Isabella Johnson, age 7, amongst the youngest victims of the accident. Harold Johnson, father of Isabel, arrested for indirectly causing the sinkhole due to unauthorized excavation. Johnson sketches evidence of an obsession that drove him to dig beneath his house. Harold claims his obsession began preceding an unexpected encounter in his basement. That evening, the basement echoed with an unfamiliar keening. Curiosity led Harold downstairs. There, standing still as a stone, was Mr. Thompson. Despite appearing frail and unwell, his focus on a particular section of the wall was unnerving. Harold, recognizing the once familiar face of Thompson, felt a mix of shock and pity. "I don't like that at all." Attempting to aid or confront Thompson, Harold briefly left, only to return to an empty basement. Yet an inexplicable obsession took hold. The exact spot Mr. Thompson had fixated upon became Harold's own relentless focus. There should be a room beyond. Diagnosis in prison: exterior spatial recognition disorder, ESRD, a rare condition causing the sufferer to perceive spaces that don't exist. In 1997, Harold was isolated and permanently restrained for his own safety after attempting to dig through his cell's concrete walls using his fingers and teeth. Harold claims he has irrefutable proof of Mr. Thompson's visit. Though dismissed in court, the photograph he presented has left many unsettled. My first thought was he needs some milk, but that's all he is bones. Freddie Mercer. Up. Is this perhaps the sibling of Alexander / Alex Mercer from Video 1? Or, Video 3? I'm taking notes. Freddie Mercer, a polymath bridging the realms of science and music. Freddie was captivated not by the extension's rooms, but by the eternal keens echoing from the depths of the Thompson trenches. Inside the trenches, Freddie discerned a melody, a hidden magnum opus, intertwined within the keens, evoking a poignant, indescribable emotion. Upon his return, Freddie became consumed with the melody, dedicating every waking moment to his piano, trying to reproduce and perfect the magnum opus he believed lay within the trench's keens, a piece that had the potential to move anyone to their very core. Today's experts postulate Freddie's ailment as melodic repetition syndrome, a rare neurological condition where individuals become fixated on auditory patterns, specifically melodies or rhythmic sequences. It is characterized by an overwhelming compulsion to replicate, refine, or complete the perceived pattern. Freddy's divine quest lured many, resulting in the formation of the Harmonics. This devoted collective saw in Freddy a messianic figure, prophesied to unveil a melody with the power to reshape reality. But the melody's pinnacle always eluded Freddy. His growing conviction, the limitation lay not within him, but the instrument itself. Determined, Freddy embarked on a gruesome fusion of flesh and instrument. His tendons, once nimble on the keys, now served as living strings, causing a cacophony of agony with every chord. Mercer's monolith, as the piano is now known, has become a shrine for the harmonics. Here, Freddy's life is intertwined with every note. His body's sinews stretch taut over the piano's frame, resonating with each touch, bringing him closer to the completion of the Elysian echo. The harmonics, ever faithful, believe that the final note is imminent. They await a transformative event, an awakening, catalyzed by the monolith's magnum opus. Throughout this presentation, you've been listening to a recording of Freddy's ongoing recital from Mercer's monolith. As it plays, consider, how close is he to completing the Elysian echo? Doctors Leela and Daniel Matheson, 1990, 1 year prior to Daniel's Puerial Regression Syndrome diagnosis, PRS. Daniel and Lila were part of an expert surveying team that ventured into the Thompson extension. Upon their exploration, they chanced upon a section that would later be termed as the Helical Descent System, or HDS, positioned close to the playroom. The initial presumption was that it was a system of slides built for the Thompson children. The vast network of slides twist and twirl around, seemingly descending deep into the bowels of the extension. Given their length, experts now theorize the slides served as a transportation mechanism or held another significant purpose. Daniel and Lila decided to explore the HDS. Equipped with advanced segmented ropes made of an ultralight, super strong composite material, they measured the depth. Though the total length was a staggering 5 TDK, they assumed Daniel wouldn't use it at all. Daniel attached the rope and began his descent. The deeper he ventured, the more the rope unraveled. To the team's astonishment, the entire 5 TDK of rope was used up. A frantic effort began to retrieve Daniel. When hauled up, Daniel was physically unharmed, but psychologically altered. He couldn't articulate what he saw in the pitch-black depths, but a haunting sense of nearing something was evident in his distraught eyes. Days after leaving the Thompson extension, Daniel started showing signs of cognitive regression. His actions, speech, and behavior became increasingly infantile. Daniel was eventually diagnosed with Puerial Regression Syndrome, a rare condition characterized by a return to childlike behavior, emotional instability, and cognitive impairment. Lila, despite not venturing into the HDS, began showing signs of shared psychosis. Folie à deux. Folie à deux. A very French word, which it means this. There we go. She became increasingly productive and nurturing of Daniel, treating him not as a husband, but as a child. Real Benjamin Button situation. 9 months after visiting the extension, Lila was rushed to the hospital, her excruciating pain mistaken for childbirth. But what emerged from Lila's body defied belief and shocked the medical team. Lila had delivered a lifeless adult body, shrunken and mummified, recognizable as Daniel. An investigation revealed the ghastly procedure Lila undertook. Daniel had been meticulously bound, drained of fluids, and slowly dried in a low-heat kiln, shrinking his body. Lila had then surgically inserted the preserved corpse into her womb, stitching it back up. The entire process was executed with chilling precision. Daniel had felt like a child trapped in an adult's body, and in a twisted, harrowing way, that's precisely how he met his end, trapped inside his wife's body. Okay, I'm sorry, that is one fucked up way to do something. Oh my god. That's not a Benjamin Button situation. Alright, everybody breathing? Everybody feeling good? Because this is a lot of shit. Am I right? So that is videos 1 through 8, which is the end of part 1. And so I guess this is the end of kind of the introduction arc to show the intensity and insanity that is the Thompson extension. So, what have we learned so far? So 1, we know that the Thompsons disappeared and they were under investigation for tax evasion, which is very mundane, all things considered. People, once they were trying to find them, kept hearing keening or a lot of moaning or like sounds coming from their basement. And then people found this massive backrooms-esque labyrinth, which had playrooms, it had slides, it had instruments, it had basically so many different types of rooms and corridors and types of anomalies. So, what's interesting is it ends up leading to all of these crazy diseases, I would say. So a lot of specialists are called in to investigate this thing. So you have like a sound specialist, you have a like interior spatial specialist, you have people that are meant to find meaning or spirituality within these spaces, like why would they exist? And each one of those people find certain places that call to them specifically. We have the Mercer brothers. I'm assuming they're brothers. They have the same last name. So we have the guy that like fell into a bunch of water, and then he ends up getting this insane fear of water, which that might be, and he's used to like exploring these like caves and these subterranean systems. But then he gets like so scared of water that he has to cut out his own saliva glands, or any type of moisture just freaks him out to the point where he is just like this sack of skin and bones with no moisture. And it kind of goes on and on like that for multiple of these specialists. So this first part kind of just shows you this brief glimpse into what the Thompson extension is. So TLDR, it's the backrooms, but very anomalous and very amorphic to specific people, and just keeps continuing to change, which I mean, it's pretty much the backrooms. And it's just showing little snippets of events that happened within this extension. Not answering why the extension exists, just showing you glimpses of the cause that it brings, the insanity it drives, specifically revolving around the Thompsons. And I want y'all to pay close attention to Mrs. Thompson. Okay? Remember her paintings? Her surreal, liminal paintings that had pieces of her in them? Remember that fact. Also, Mr. Thompson is a freak. Just remember he's a freak. A little freaky fuckface. Okay? That's my personal opinion, and you'll find out why soon. So part 2 will now be more of me normally reacting to stuff. As we continue, once we hit more blocks of narration on my part, it'll be like part 1, as you just watched. We continue, and we venture deeper into the Thompson extension. Let's go, baby. Part 2. Woo! Feeling good. Feeling spicy.
Part 2. Interviews. Interviews and accounts from neighbors and townspeople about the Thompsons.
Okay, we are leaning back on the couch a bit because it is time for some voiceover work and normal reactions from your good buddy Nick. Let's go.
You know, we used to be real close, Mrs. Thompson and me. Our kiddos were thick as thieves, always raising some kind of ruckus. She'd come over for some chit-chat, and our conversations were just, usual mom stuff. PTA, who's bringing what to the potluck, that kind of thing. But then one day, she starts showing off all these knickknacks. Weird stuff I can't really put into words what they looked like trying to describe how Tillamook cheddar tastes to someone who's never had cheese, All you know is, it's different, you know. Susan, Mrs. Thompson, that is, was acting real queer about it, too. She starts...
Whoa, okay, we're using some gamer words. Remember, this takes place in the 80s. What's a queer thought? That, it's what a strange thing. Very different connotations now, but it's also crazy how, in just 2 years, how far AI voices have come, because, this is painfully an AI voice, which is fine, because this is all original storytelling.
Telling me how she's got her dream kitchen now, a playroom for the kiddos, and even a new bathroom. But something ain't adding up. I've been to their house, didn't see no dream kitchen. Heck, I ain't seen a single contractor or any of that renovation jazz. Nothing. Only thing I noticed were those strange things. The kind of things you'd only see in the Lost to Poke antique shop, but way creepier. Then one fine day, she comes over, looking like she's been through the ringer. We were sitting on my front porch, just sipping our coffee. She goes, "Judy, it keeps growing." I'm thinking, what's growing, a tumor or something? But she just looked at me, eyes hollow as a burnt-out Douglas fir, and says, "If I sleep, it'll get bigger." Gosh, it was like she was living with some unsaid dread. Not your garden variety worry, but something much deeper. Something you'd feel in your bones if you were lost out in the high desert, you know? After that, she changed. Started keeping to herself, hardly ever came out of her house. It's like the friend I knew was gone, replaced by this shell. She was just gone, and what was left was this unsettling emptiness, like a crater left after a forest fire. Sometimes I wonder if I should have done something, if I could have. But what can you do when you don't even know what you're up against? All I know is, my friend was consumed by something that defies all reason. The friend I knew? She was swallowed up by whatever was growing in that house. And the most terrifying part? I have no idea what it was.
Jesus! Good. Okay, my God. Next interview.
My name's Jim. Used to be with the fire department here in Origin. Seen a lot in my days. Terrible accidents, house fires out of control, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepped me for that day in the 90s. Mayor Green was behind it all, spending our taxpayer money like it was water. Called it community development, but those of us in the know had our doubts. She rounded up a team of pros, each equipped with this shiny new piece of tech, called it the Perceptual Integrity Interface, or PII for short. It was supposed to protect their minds, shield them from disruptive wavelengths that come from some of those rooms in the extension. Keep things stable, they said. But Lord Almighty, once they stepped through that den of Mr. Thompson and into the extension, God, I can still see it, their faces. It was like they were trying to escape their own skulls. Eyes retreating into their sockets, mouths twisting in ways mouths shouldn't twist. Most of them dropped right there, brain dead. Their faces were twisted in... except Carl. I was on the team that went in after them, seeing those guys on the floor, and Carl just whispering. His PII wasn't working right. So he got a peek, but not the full horror show. Here's what I think. The PII worked too well. It tore down whatever illusion the extension puts up. Those guys saw it for what it really is. And it's not rooms. It's alive. Bigger than anything we can wrap our heads around.
That makes sense.
Carl got just enough to mess him up, but not drop him outright. After that, man, I wasn't right. These, thoughts, they keep creeping in, like a nagging itch, urging me to see it for myself. Sometimes I wonder if I should take steps to ensure I never act on it, but then I realize there are other ways of seeing. In my dreams, I'm there, and it's calling
Dreams.
to me. I could see it if I wanted to. That's what keeps me awake at night. That's what terrifies me.
Piekle. Widzę przestrzeń bez końca. Ucieczki nie ma miejsc.
Okay, so this is in another language. Let's see if we can... The audio plays Karl... I'm not even going to try. Wojnokowinski. It's Russian or Polish. Karl repeated a haunting verse in Polish. Several hours after this recording was made, Karl passed away. The cause, an unspecific neurological collapse.
Widzę przestrzeń bez końca, ucieczki, nie ma miejsca.
Yes.
Jesteśmy w żywym
I guess those were
piekle.
nothing.
Widzę przestrzeń bez końca, ucieczki, nie ma miejsca. Jesteśmy w żywym piekle.
What was that? No. If anyone speaks Polish or Russian or any of those, if anybody knows what he said, let me know, please.
You know, I've been teaching music up at the local school for more years than I care to count. Heck, I've heard a lot of voices. Some heavenly, others, well, bless their hearts, they tried. But none unsettled me quite like Sarah Thompson. That
Who's
girl
Sarah
had
Thompson?
a voice like a bell at first. But over time, that bell started to clang, if you know what I mean. Got so
What?
she'd twist herself like a pretzel while she was singing, her body contorting into shapes no child ought to be able to make, screeching rather than
Oh, it's
singing.
one of the kids?
She looked at me one day, her eyes cold and yet burning with something I can't name, and said, "Miss Williams, the skewbald mayor's going to conduct a choir, but we all got to be retuned
The
first."
what?
I can't say I understood. Sounded like gibberish or the stuff of nightmares, but she said it with a conviction that made my bones chill. "That's when the void'll shatter," she whispered. Child's whispers shouldn't carry that much weight, but hers did. Reminds me of all that rubbish spouted by the harmonics cult. Don't get me started. As if Origin ain't got enough problems, they took over the radio, playing Freddie Mercer's tunes around the clock. That's Freddie Mercer, cousin to Alexander, who disappeared like smoke.
Cousin!
It makes a woman wonder what's going on in our town. And yet Sarah, she looked like she knew. Not long before she and her family went missing, she gave me this sealed envelope, said it contained a drawing of that day, the day the void shatters. I've kept it locked in that drawer for years. Often my hand hovers over that handle. But something deep inside me screams, "Don't, Joyce, don't." Like opening it would make it all real. I've got this dreadful feeling, like worms in my gut, that we're already humming along in this skewbald mayor's unholy chorus. And when we
What?
hit that terrible crescendo, God help us, I don't want to think about what comes next.
Joyce Williams did not disclose the contents of the envelope given to her by Sarah Thompson. However, investigators recovered a similar drawings from the Thompson residence, purportedly crafted by the Thompson children. There's so many big words in this. Yeah, your kid shouldn't be talking about skewball mayors. And I should clarify, I might be jumping the gun a little bit. When you hear mayor, don't think of like the mayor of a town. Think of a mayor as a horse. Remember at the beginning when I showed you that picture of a horse? That's going to come into play later. So remember, Susan and the skewball mayor are two big players in this. Okay, I'm pointing that out now so you can remember it when they pop back up. One such drawing features disturbing imagery of figures contorted in agony, their mouths open wide. Interpretations vary. Some say the figures are singing, while others argue they are screaming. Why not keening? So any horse girls out there are probably like screaming at the screen. If you're even watching this, I doubt you're even watching this video. If you are, shout out to the one horse girl / boy / non-binary friend. A skewball is basically something that has like, so think of a cow, like a black and white spotted cow. Now think of that, but on a horse, like the same type of patterns, but it can be brown, gray. It's like a spotted horse. Thank you for learning that with me.
You want to know how I got that footage? Man, it's messed up. My buddy Tom's mom, she was part of some team investigating the Thompson house. You know the Thompsons, right? The family that vanished back in '85? Anyways, she was all into that extension stuff, and she died not long after they put up those cameras. Heart attack, they said. Freaking heart attack. After she passed, Tom found all this camera gear and stacks of DV tapes in the attic. He didn't want to touch them, Said they gave him the creeps. He knew I was into film, so he passed them to me. Said maybe I could use them for class or whatever. Huge mistake. There's this one tape, man. It's burned into my head. It's dark, like hella dark, pointing right at the door leading into Mr. Thompson's den. Then the footage just, I don't know, wigs out, gets all blurry and stuff. When it snaps back, there's like, look, it ain't a face you'd recognize, you know? It's like, not human but not totally animal either. Like some messed up halfway thing. That thing wasn't just looking at the camera, it felt like it was looking right through the screen directly at me. Staring into my soul, man. Like it was tagging me or something. Marking me. That little voice in your head that's all about, yo, be safe, man. Mine was going off like, turn it off, dude. Walk away. But nah, couldn't do it. Had to make the pic clearer, right? Use some fancy tech stuff to clean it up. Zoom in. That's when it hit me, man. I didn't find this thing. This freaking thing found me. Dude, I regret it, okay? I regret digging where I shouldn't have. Now I feel like it's always there, just around the corner, always out of sight, but never out of my mind. It's got me, but maybe if someone else sees it, it'll switch focus or something. I can't hang on to this messed up secret alone, you get me? So, it's on you now. But once you're looking into that freaking darkness, man, that darkness is looking right back. Trust me, it don't like to be pushed aside. So just be real careful, man. 'Cause some stuff, once you find it, you can't ever shake it. And it'll never, ever let you forget it's there.
Oh, is this it? Oh, shit. Yeah, that's a big-ass horse. Does it have a human face? So the horse is creepy as fuck. This is why I'm not a horse girl. All right, that's the end of the interviews. So what new information do we have? We now know that there's an entity within the extension or related to the extension called the Skewball Mare, or it's basically this demonic horse thing that can infect your mind. Of it's kind of a cognito hazard. If you stare at the horse, it's going to infect you and you're going to be obsessed with this horse. Kind of like the saying, if you stare into the abyss stares back. The horse is like a manifestation of the abyss. Siobhan, who found the playroom, who became part of her family's home pipeworks. Lovely imagery there. She was one that opened up one of the curtains and saw the void itself and was driven insane by it and was like, this is something we can't comprehend. So she stared into the void and it warped her perception and warped her body entirely. We know one of the kids is named Sarah. Basically textbook horror movie child that just says creepy shit, draws creepy drawings, and everyone's just like, it's weird for a kid to do, but whatever, I'm an adult, I don't care. I'm saying this right now. If one of my kids, I have 2 kids, by the way, if one of my kids ever comes up to me and goes, look what I drew, his name's Jonathan, he stands in the corner and whispers scary things to me, we're moving, we're not even gonna touch it. I'm not curious. I'm highly skeptical of that shit, but I'm not taking a fucking chance. You will not do a Ouija board around me. I don't care if it's a board game. I don't give a shit. I'm not inviting that crap into my house. Even if I don't believe it's true, I'm not taking a chance on getting cursed. What is it? Talk to Mead. No, thank you. Moving on. Part 3.
Part 3. Who is Mr. Thompson? Mr. Thompson's fractured mind and psyche begins to offload into the cosmic dumping ground of the extension.
So part 3, we're going to learn a little bit about who exactly the Thompsons are, at least on the surface. The Thompsons were once considered to be a typical origin family. They became the center of a curious investigation when a series of outlandish artifacts were discovered within their residence and Mr. Thompson's office. These peculiar items, many later donated to the Last Epoch antique shop, ignited a wave of speculation, deepening the intrigue surrounding the family. As if the artifacts weren't baffling enough, Mr. Thompson was also under scrutiny for allegations of fraud and tax evasion tied to his business, Thompson Lodging. The sudden appearance of these artifacts and the ensuing investigation inadvertently led to a shocking discovery. the Thompson extension. It is believed that these inexplicable artifacts originated from a peculiar section, 6.7 TDK, within the vast subterranean complex. The repository. This is an area cluttered with a disarray of items, ranging from mundane to the inexplicable. Interestingly, these items bear no manufacturing labels or serial numbers, challenging any conventional explanations. Theories abound regarding the nature of this area. Some suggest it served as a storage facility for the Thompsons. Others argue that its disorganized state indicates it could have been sort of cognitive dumping ground, yet to be understood. Efforts are underway to systematically catalog the items found in the repository. Interdisciplinary teams are leading these endeavors in the hopes that scientific inquiry may provide answers. Law enforcement, under the direction of Mayor Green, has sealed a portion of the repository due to mysterious auditory phenomena, strange guttural noises. A whistleblower from the Origin police force has hinted that the sealed section contains more than just inanimate items, suggesting a revelation that may be groundbreaking in scope. There are other things down there, repeating all these guttural, half-remembered words over and over. It ain't people, but they ain't junk either. Whistleblower. The Thompson extension, vacation or nightmare. The atrium, a puzzling area within the Thompson extension, is accessed through a discrete green garden gate located at 10.9 TDK into the labyrinthian complex. Lush green curtains serve as a barrier and prelude to this enigmatic zone, an airsat's open-air space, draped in the curtain of perpetual evening. Despite the absence of sunlight, the space is strangely warm, with an inexplicable breeze lending the atmosphere of an outdoor retreat. The flora, while seemingly alive, defies the conventional understanding of life. Not truly alive, yet not entirely inanimate either. It is as if the extension has synthesized its own category of existence. Where does this flora stand in the spectrum between life and death? Mid-century modernist architectural aesthetics dominate this space, reflecting Mr. Thompson's known predilections. The interiors, with their distinctly 70s flavor, are a tad more chic than the usual furnishings within the extension. The persistent yet slightly rancid aroma, reminiscent of a butcher's shop, however, contrasts this serene ambience, rendering it almost dystopian. Mr. Thompson's infidelities have long ceased to be a hushed rumor. A discovered photo album paints a vivid tapestry of his clandestine escapades within the atrium. There he is, captured in frames, holidaying with a slew of unidentified women. Graffiti and vandalized images suggest Mr. Thompson might have uncovered these betrayals not long before their mysterious vanishing. But it is a specific subset of these photographs that deeply unsettles. Mr. Thompson's perverse fetish emerges from the shadows, posing with his lovers, each adorned with a grotesque horse's detached head, reveals a dark intersection of his infidelity and obsession with the Skewball Mayor myth. Could his obsession with the Skewball Mayor legend be more intricately tied than merely a twisted romantic gesture?
In Origin, where name and fate entwine, the silence of Haven Ridge was sundered. It stands as but the third cry among the ordained seven. With each break, tremors pulse throughout the stigmatum depths. Here, the ageless presence first beckons forth by the whispers of the ancient guardians. From the kaleidoscope expanse, then bound by them within this dark prison, stirs an anticipation from a reborn world.
let's talk about what we know so far. Mr. Thompson is a little freak because apparently he used to bring a bunch of women just down into this extension and had kinky fetishy stuff with them that involved horse heads, and he was obsessed with the Skewball Mayor myth. And when they say myth, I don't know whether the myth started when the extension appeared or it's always been something within the town of Origin. Mr. Thompson knows something, obviously, because he's saying Origin will be like the harbinger of like something or other, yada yada prophecy, revelation, mumbo jumbo. He basically used it as like his like sex dungeon, it sounds like, with horses. I know it sounds a little crazy now that we've talked about some of the runes and a lot of these events, but now we're going to start discussing stuff as they discover them. As you can see, like I said, non-Euclidian, we're going to be jumping timelines all over the place, and I'm trying my best to help y'all stay focused. So now we have a lot of big chunks of stuff that this extension has done, the cognitive space and abilities it has, the actual depth between Mr. and Mrs. Thompson and what they knew, including their kids. We also know Mr. Thompson owns a logging company. Nowhere to go but up. Let's keep going.
Part 4. Alpha Expedition. Reports and accounts from the first team to venture into the extension after the Thompsons' disappearance.
Exploring the extension. In 1985, Origin, Oregon. The Thompson family vanished amid a tax evasion investigation. Their home conceals an enigma, a labyrinth of inexplicable rooms, now known as the Thompson extension. This research journal belongs to the member of the first exploration team sent in. The Thompson Extension Exploration Report, Team Alpha, 1985. Entry point, Thompson Den. The transition felt like passing through an airlock. Vertigo took over. Most of us vomited. Measuring tools failed immediately. Distance, direction, depth became abstract. We turned to a manual metric Thompson Den kilometer, TDK. Our new measurement, distance gauged from the den using knotted ropes and step counts. Humidity, damp carpets, the jarring scent of heated dust. Rooms blend eras, 60s to 80s. Everything felt slightly off, displaced. Structural absurdities. Space twisted and turned, defying logic. Rooms within rooms. We have set up a base camp. By our count, we're 2 TDK in. Yet it feels like days have passed. Is this man-made? The sheer vastness. What truly is the Thompson extension? Good God. How we holding up, everybody? Here's the point of no return. Because when I say non-Euclidean, the rest of these videos will be non-Euclidean in order to follow. But I've done my best to make it easy and digestible for you to at least get the story and a little bit of my reactions to the stuff, because I really want this to speak for itself. If you don't want things to get weird, and if you're not into surreal things that are confusing and liminal and don't quite make sense, now's your time to click off, and I won't blame you. It's okay. If you're a real trooper, then you're going to stick with me for the rest of this journey, okay? I'm trying to keep a very level head and not lose my mind. Buckle the f*** up.
Surprise!
Douglas beamed.
I thought this might be something you'd appreciate.
I could sense Douglas's expectation. Waiting for that squeal of joy, the jump of excitement. Boo! Gotta stay on your toes with this one. It's like a week and a half later for me. We're starting part 5. In part 5, we're gonna hear more incidents. I'm probably on a bit more of a hyper level today.
patapim, brr brr patapim, scimpanzini, bananini, tung 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 sahur.
Part 5, we're going to cover more incidences, and it's going to be a little bit more better editing because I feel like this creator this is their first series, so they're kind of working their chops as the things go on, because their current series, holy shit, those look incredible. Like, there are so many series on this guy's channel. I mean, I'm definitely not going to be able to cover them all, but I'll probably cover a shorter one. Good lord. Let's kick it. 1985. Dr. Hiroshi Nakamura. 13 months pre-serenic craving syndrome. A respected geologist and research scientist, Hiroshi led the beta team, betas, into the Thompson extension to unravel the mysteries of the vast subterranean complex. Venturing only 0.5 TDK, Thompson 10 kilometers, into the extension, Hiroshi unexpectedly became detached from his team. During this time, he found himself in a section of the extension dubbed as the Culinary Conclave. Unlike any other part of the extension, this network of interconnected kitchens exuded a warm, nostalgic scent that somehow penetrated Hiroshi's hazmat suit. Entranced, Hiroshi felt an inexplicable connection to the place. After leaving the Thompson extension, Hiroshi was plagued by a relentless hunger, yet every smell and taste of ordinary food became revolting. As such, he became gaunt and sickly. Sleep provided no solace, as he was tormented by vivid dreams of the extension and its elusive aroma. Hiroshi was trapped in a cruel paradox. Starving, yet unable to stomach the very thing he needs most. The only reprieve, he believed, lay in the genesis of that tantalizing aroma. If he could just recreate it, maybe he would find peace. Hiroshi's meals grew increasingly experimental, combining eclectic ingredients in the hopes of mimicking the aroma that so profoundly affected him. $20 that maybe that aroma is human? I mean, can you get more fucked up than that? Hiroshi's concerned parents, after several unanswered calls, entered their son's apartment to a bone-chilling scene. Hiroshi sat horribly mutilated at his kitchen table. His face bore a content smile that starkly contrasted the ghastly state of his body. Before him, a grum-covered bowl sat empty, and the contents of a saucepan told a macabre tale. God, I hate that sound. I don't know how you ASMR freaks... You know what? I stand by that. I don't know how you ASMR freaks listen to that. I can't handle it. You enjoy it, just go somewhere else and do it. I just can't. Investigators unveiled the nightmarish truth. Hiroshi had surgically removed parts of his own anatomy, including reproductive organs, a segment of his lung, and a slice of his liver. These very pieces were found at the core ingredients in the stew he had so meticulously prepared. As his life ebbed away, those present noticed how serene Hiroshi's countenance was, right up until he expired with a deeply satisfied burp. Can we please put down the thesaurus? Hey, can't talk. Can we please put down the
oh my god.
The thesaurus? God, that's impossible. These words are too much. Let's dumb it down for the stupid American man, please. Hiroshi's actions were diagnosed as the severe progression of SCS. The condition still little understood, presents symptoms of extreme obsession with recreating the olfactory experiences triggered in the extension. Current hypothesis suggests that the culinary conclave may exude biochemical agents that bind to the brain's neural receptors, while others speculate about psychological triggers. Dr. Julia Hawthorne, PhD in theoretical physics, specialized in quantum anomalies. Dr. Hawthorne led the beta team on a sanctioned exploration into the Thompson extension, a mysterious subterranean complex beneath the Thompson estate in Origin, Oregon. Contact with Dr. Hawthorne was lost for 2 hours while she explored the heart of the Thompson's extension, central heating system. Dubbed the Carlor's Crucible Chamber, this space is a tangle of pipes, dials, and one large boiler that hums with persistent vibrato. Adjusting valves, Dr. Hawthorne was methodical and precise, unaware that with each turn, her essence was intertwining with the mechanisms far beyond a simple heating system. After emerging from the extension, Dr. Hawthorne reported feeling an unshakable coldness despite her skin emitting intense heat. Within hours, her body was heating the environment around her to dangerous levels, yet she herself remained unscathed. Her internal temperature stable and within normal human range. The phenomenon suggested a form of heat generation that didn't stem from her biological processes, but from an unknown field her body was generating or channeling. This came to be known as pyrothermic radiation syndrome. Initial attempts to cool Dr. Hawthorne with liquid nitrogen failed drastically. Her temperature solution led to a reactive surge in heat, worsening the situation and confounding scientists. In reaction, a specialized task force developed a containment suit and the Icarus chamber, an underground bunker equipped to handle the extreme temperatures and to isolate and examine Dr. Hawthorne. As Dr. Hawthorne's condition metamorphosed from a medical anomaly into a ticking time bomb, high-ranking officials debated that morality and safety of euthanasia. However, leading scientists warned that terminating Dr. Hawthorne's life could initiate a catastrophic release of energy. Human power plant? Her body had become a volatile generator for an unprecedented form of radiation that might not be extinguished with her demise. Instead, authorities opted for an extraordinary measure: celestial exile. An unmanned shuttle was hastily equipped with a containment pod designed to withstand extreme heat and radiation, along with enough fuel to propel Dr. Hawthorne well beyond Earth's gravitational pull. Yet, as it breached the cusp of Earth's orbit, a calamity unfolded. The spacecraft disintegrated under mysterious circumstances. The containment pod with Dr. Hawthorne was presumably inside, entered a decaying orbit around the planet. The fate of Dr. Julia Hawthorne remains unknown. Though presumed deceased, the relentless growth of a heat signature in orbit suggests an unfading source of power. The Hawthorne star, as it has been ominously dubbed, is already influencing Earth's climate. Unnatural weather patterns and gradual increases in global temperatures are being reported each year. Experts predict that by 2030, the temperature of the Hawthorne star will match that of a microsun. This staggering increase possesses an unprecedented threat. Sup, y'all? I'm going to be joining you for this one because there's some voice acting, but the mayor's first groom, the twisted ties of Jack Caversham to the Thompsons. So I think this is about one of the Thompsons, like family, like a family friend of the Thompsons, and apparently he married a horse.
Jack Caversham. Man, where do I even begin? I met him back in high school. He was one of those prodigies, you know? Always the brightest bulb in the room. But he was an odd one, too. He had this thing for Susan. Asked her out a few times, but she was always so engrossed in her art, her books. He was just a blip on her radar, I guess. You could tell it really got to him. After that, he went down a pretty dark path. Started messing around with all sorts of mind-bending stuff like DMT and magic mushrooms.
Nice.
But it wasn't just any mushroom that had Jack's attention. It was this local species, grew only around here in Origin, around that gray lump thing they built the Thompsons' house on top of.
I'm sorry, we're pausing. They built the house on top of the gray lump that was like a very special mushroom to just this town? Well, there's the problem. I wonder what this mushroom is. Oh, it's so strange. It gets you crazy high. Let's build a house on it. Literally, this is the reason for everything. Let's find out more about the Black Umbra.
Drive men mad. Jack was fascinated by it. So, he goes to college. Not just any college, but a high-tier one, majoring in chemistry. Turns his whole life around like it's some sort of magic trick. Becomes a chemist and starts studying the very substances he used to abuse. That's where he synthesized it, O17X, from that Black Umbra mushroom. He was onto something he wouldn't share, as if he'd discovered the secret to the universe but decided it wasn't for mere mortals like us.
Oh my god.
Fast forward to 82, and he tries to take out Douglas Thompson. Can you believe it? Cops said he had a weapon and everything, ready to do the deed in Thompson's office.
Hey. This transcript is from a damaged audio recording found in Douglas Thompson's office, capturing a tense confrontation between Thompson and Jack Caversham. The audio quality is compromised due to police intervention that prevented a potential tragedy.
You're what? A bloated bag of insipid dreams. You're not fit to be her husband, her partner in this cosmic dance. It should be me. It will be me. Once you're out of this picture, the mayor will see my dreams for what they are. Vibrant, consuming, potent. O17X will magnify them, and she will see that it's me who's worthy. And Susan, beautiful Susan, will finally see the truth too. Silent? Still? Do you think your silence will save you? Do you? Say something! Beg! Grovel! Can't you see the gravity of this moment?
That's incel behavior, sir.
You'll be in the abyss soon. Carry this thought into oblivion. When the mare takes her rightful place, when the world bends to her majesty, know that it was me, Jack Caversham, who unchained her from her cosmic prison, who recognized her true potential. FBI, open up!
Oh my god.
Jealousy. That's what they chalked it up to. Thompson had Susan, the woman Jack had always pined for. The oldest story in the book, except with Jack. Nothing was ever that simple. It was after the family disappeared in 85 that things got even weirder. Cops started looking into Jack again. Found out he'd been supplying Thompson with that O17X stuff. But here's the kicker. Turns out, he wasn't just messing with Thompson. He was switching out Susan's medication too. Why? God knows. Was he a man pushed to the edge by love, spurned and anguished? Or was he something far more calculating?
Yo, cameraman, back off.
A brilliant mind working on an equation only he could see?
Horse! I know horses freak some people out because they're like these giant creatures that are like pretty smart and like they are weird, but like to me they're just like goofballs, if that makes sense. So you look at them and go, there's not a thought in that thing's brain. I've played the anime girl horse game. There are no thoughts behind those eyes. Run, eat, breed, die, glue, Elmer's, slime. That's the process.
Douglas, how you float through life, blind to your own staggering luck. How many times have you looked in the mirror and seen a king when all you are is a pawn? A house, a family, Susan. My Susan? She should have been mine. And now the mayor, that ethereal goddess that I, not you, brought into this realm. Why her affections for you? Why not me? Why do you always get everything? Everything I desire. Everything I work therefore you sit there in mediocrity while the world delivers its gifts to your undeserving lap. You think you're so special. You're a placeholder.
Dude, you're giving Chosen vibes.
Far grander.
You don't even
far
understand
more
true power.
Spectacular than you could ever be. Your dreams, a joke, a mockery. They couldn't fuel a candle, let alone the mayor's magnificence. Susan, she is the beacon, the celestial umbilical cord reaching into the heavens.
I hear this and I just imagine some dude in like a trilby fedora with the long hair, like a silk button-up shirt that's like really open, big pants, but he like looks really disheveled and on drugs, and he's like, "You cannot imagine the art, the beauty of the mayor. Why does she not notice me?" Like, dude, chill out.
Her unending passion, something you never even recognized, is the key. And you're what? A bloated bag of insipid dreams. You're not fit to be her husband, her partner in this cosmic dance.
Okay, we've heard this part, I think.
It should be me. It will be me.
It should be me holding your hand.
Once you're out of
It
this
should be me.
The mayor
I don't
will
know
see
the
my
rest.
dreams for what they are. Vibrant, consuming, potent. 17X will magnify them, and she will see that it's me who's worthy. And Susan, beautiful Susan, will finally see the truth too. Silent. Still. Do you think your silence will save you? Do you? Say something! Beg! Grovel! Can't you see the gravity of this moment? Since you'll be in the abyss soon, carry this thought into oblivion. When the mayor takes her rightful place, when the world bends to her majesty, know that it was me, Jack Caversham, who unchained her from her cosmic prison, who recognized her true potential. FBI, open up!
So, two big ones. One, Jack Caversham discovered a magic mushroom that basically made the extension appear and the mayor exist. Because I'm sure we'll learn more about that. That mushroom probably plays a major factor in this. And then Julia turned into the sun, a second sun. Correct me if I misunderstood this. They blamed her for climate change around the globe. We don't know what's gonna... Just shoot her into space, man. They used an old shuttle. With our track record and shuttles, no wonder it disintegrated. We're moving on to the next part. It's a doozy. I would get a refresh on that snack if I were you.
Part 6. The Thompson Diaries. Journals written by Mr. and Mrs. Thompson describing the events leading up to the appearance of the extension.
Holly decided to join me for this one. She's part Chihuahua. She shakes all the time, I promise. I also have a sandwich on the table that she won't stop staring at. Tasty chemicals. So let's dive into these journals and diaries. Because if you're a man, you write in a journal. Because diaries are gay. I'm kidding. I don't write in a diary. That's for... I bet it's because of the... But it was called My Password Journal, not My Password Diary. Weird. Mrs. Thompson's diary, July 3rd, 1978. Today was like any other Wednesday. I woke up early and alone, made breakfast for Sarah and Betty, and got them ready for school. They're such bundles of joy, always laughing and playing with each other. Betty lost her front tooth today. She's so excited about the tooth fairy visiting tonight. Douglas was already locked away in his den when I woke up. Lately, he's been retreating there more often than not. I don't even know what he does in that room all day. When I asked him about it, he simply said he's working on something important. I can't help but worry. The bank has been calling more frequently, and there's a stack of unpaid bills on the kitchen counter. I spent most of the day in my studio painting. It's one of the few activities that helps me relax and forget about the world, at least for a while. I was working on an abstract landscape for our old holiday spot by the lake. Sometimes I wonder if we'll ever go on another family vacation. But the way things are, seems unlikely. Sarah and Betty returned from school in high spirits. We baked cookies together, and they went and played with Judy Sanderson's kids. They asked if Douglas would read them a bedtime story tonight, but I told them he would probably be busy. When dinner was ready, I called everyone to the table. Douglas came out of his den, looking distracted and tired. He barely said 2 words during the meal. Sarah showed him her spelling test. She got an A, but he hardly seemed to notice. After dinner, he returned to his den, and I got the girls ready for bed. I read them a bedtime story, kissed them goodnight. They were asleep in no time. I sometimes envy their innocence. The world is a far simpler place through their eyes. I've decided I'll confront Douglas about his odd behavior tomorrow. This can't go on. We are a family, and it's high time we started acting like one again. Till tomorrow, diary. With love, Susan. Mrs. Thompson's diary, July 4th, 1978. Susan Lee Farr, at age 18, before becoming Susan Thompson, 1965. Independence Day, the term drips with irony, thick enough to cut with a knife. While fireworks paint the sky in fleeting bursts of liberty, the concept of freedom remains tantalizingly out of reach for me. Tonight, I envisioned us watching those radiant displays together, feigning, if only for a brief interlude, that we are normal, a happy family. But events unfolded today that have shattered that illusion. This morning, my resolve steeled from last night's contemplation. I used the spare key to Douglas's den, a key he doesn't know I have. As the door reluctantly gave way, my heart pounded with trepidation. The sight that met my eyes was even more pitiable than I'd dreaded. Douglas sprawled on the floor, barely conscious, clearly adrift on more than just alcohol. A surge of emotions engulfed me. Rage, disgust, sorrow. I pulled out my camera and snapped a photograph, a grim token from a confrontation that's now unavoidable and terrifyingly overdue. I can't let him gaslight me into doubting my own reality. Knowing this wasn't the moment for harsh truths, especially not in front of the girls, I spirited them away. We would lose ourselves, I suggested, in the festivities of the Independence Day parade on Main Street. However, my distress only intensified upon our return home a few hours ago. Jack Cavernshaw was pulling out of our driveway. Seeing him enkindled a deeper sense of resentment and mistrust. Oh, he's a chemist now. But in my eyes, he will forever be that reckless burnout from our teenage years. Someone who always seemed a little too comfortable on the edge of the law. Memories swarmed back from a night long ago when Jack introduced us to a hallucinogen. DMT, he had called it. Reality had twisted and pulsed, and for a few minutes, the world was unlike anything I'd known. Is this what Douglas uses now to escape the ruinous state of our marriage and his faltering business, facilitated by whatever Jack provides? The thought fills me with a corrosive blend of anger and self-loathing. How can I despise him for seeking an alternate reality when I fantasize about the same? Sometimes in moments of secret vulnerability, I find myself aching for a transformation so profound that it could only be akin to magic. I envision waking up and peeling back the curtains, not to a familiar view that speaks of everyday strife and domestic woes, but an entirely new landscape. A world untainted by the emotional disarray of a failing marriage, the weight of a crumbling financial security, and even, with a pang of guilt I can hardly bear. A life unanchored by the responsibility for my own beautiful children. It's a fantasy that floods me with a guilt so palpable it's almost a physical ache. Do other women ache for this same unspoken yearning? Or is it my desperation, a solitary confinement of its own? A labyrinth of taboo desires only I navigate? I feel shackled by the roles I never chose, but I am expected to play them to perfection. Roles that have now imprisoned me in a reality where my husband spirals deeper into his own form of oblivion, leaving me alone and teetering on the edge of emotional collapse. The hour of reckoning is no longer a shadowy future. It has become a pressing necessity. A confrontation, no matter its horrors, has grown inevitable. Tonight, dear diary, I put my pen down here. Perhaps tomorrow will usher in the cataclysmic change we both dread and desire. That was good. Mrs. Thompson's Diary, July 10th, 1978. Dear Diary, the confrontation with Douglas keeps getting postponed, but not without reason. Something else, something overwhelming, has taken hold of me. Lately, I've noticed my writing, even my doodles on the margins of grocery lists, are becoming different. Words flow from my pen effortlessly, assembling themselves into complex sentences and poetic passages I barely recognize as my own. I've always painted surreal scenes, dreamlike yet confronting vistas, but what I'm working on now doesn't even fit any category or style. I've tried multiple versions of it, each one getting closer to something. I can't put my finger on it, on what it is, but I feel compelled to keep trying, as if cracking a code or solving a complex puzzle. And here's the strangest part. As I make these brushstrokes, as these paintings evolve, it feels more like a connection is being made. A link is being forged. I feel a growing sense of urgency, of purpose. It's as if this isn't just a piece of art, it's a lifeline, a bridge that could cut through the darkness that settled over my life and Douglas's. Is it possible that I'm painting the escape route I've always longed for? A way to save us all? I wonder if my antidepressants are finally kicking in, doing their job in a way that's been eluding them for months. Could they be lifting the fog that's been holding me back? Seeing someone say antidepressants in the 1970s, you had to be in some real shit to take those, because those are like real early type of pills. That's like Alpha Zoloft, Aloft, not started A then Z. For the moment, all I can do is continue to write and paint. I don't know what I'm connecting to, but the more I delve into it, the more I'm convinced that finishing this painting is crucial. Not just for me, but perhaps for my family too. How it will save us, I don't know. But the feeling's unshakable. Until next time, diary. July 15th, 1978. Today the weight is lifted. The painting that's consumed me, that's been both a dream and a torment, reached its climax. I've felt like I've been in the eye of a storm, the maelstrom surrounding me, yet today, the tempest released its fury. Endless visions of colors and shapes, each trying to tell its own story, seemed impossible to pin down on a canvas. It felt as overwhelming as trying to tell a lifetime's tale on a single page. But then, something broke. My vision blurred with the rush of crimson emotion, the brush heavy and defiant in my hand, its bristles almost angrily scratching the canvas. A torrent of anguish, frustration, and unchecked passion surged through me, and in that brief window between strokes, clarity emerged. The painting was sublime. But as swiftly as that brilliance dawned, it was eclipsed by one more vehement swipe. marrying the masterpiece once more. How can you see when I become so numb? Chung. Save me. It wasn't just my inner tempest that I felt, diary. The earth shook. Quite literally. An earthquake struck in the state of Oregon. I heard the ground scream, a keening noise that sent shivers down my spine. Everyone in the town of Origin must have heard it. I felt it. Sarah and Betty were at Lake Nanani camp, and my immediate thought was to rush to them, but with Douglas at work and our only car, and our other having been sold due to our financial strain, I was left stranded. Thankfully, a few hours later, Judy came home, especially to pick me up. We drove to the campus to collect our frightened girls. As they clung to me in the back seat, Judy began relaying the town's news. The still under construction Haven Ridge Mall had suffered extensive damage. She speculated it might push the grand opening into next year. But the most heart-wrenching piece of news was the collapse of our historic town hall, taking with it 3 of our town members, Mrs. Abernathy, young Tom Jenkins, and Mr. Delgado. Knowing them made the tragedy all too personal. As Judy went on about organizing a community gathering, I must admit, diary, my mind wandered. While I appreciate Judy's initiative, there are times when her insistent chatter feels less like genuine concern and more like an eagerness to be the center of every event, every piece of gossip. It's hard to tell. When we reached home, Douglas was just pulling into the driveway. He didn't say a word, just withdrew into his den. I wish I could find a way to bridge the distance between us, to find our way back to each other. As the night descends and the house settles into a quiet lull, I find myself reflecting on the day's chaos. The tremor, it seems, didn't just shift the earth, but something within me, too. The bottled up anxiety, the relentless pressure I'd been placing on myself about that accursed painting. It all seemed to disappear with the quaking of the earth. I know, diary, it might seem heartless to find such release on a day marked by tragedy for our little town, but I can't help but feel the tremor shook loose my stagnant energies, setting the stage for a fresh start. Now, with a clearer mind and a lighter heart, I'm ready to shift my focus to where it truly belongs, my precious family. Tomorrow is a new day, a fresh canvas, and I'm ready to paint with love, patience, and undivided attention. I go to bed tonight with a silent prayer of gratitude for the unexpected release and for the precious lives we still have amidst us. Until next time, dear diary. Mrs. Thompson's final diary entry, July 17th, 1978. Today, something utterly incredible and beyond belief happened. But before I delve into that, let me recount the events leading up to it. The past few days have felt like a dream. A rejuvenating sense of love and closeness with Douglas has filled the corners of our home. It's as though we've been given a second chance, a fresh start to rediscover each other. Sarah and Betty left for camp again, their youthful energy bubbling over with excitement. The house seems quieter without their laughter, but it's also given Douglas and me time to connect, uninterrupted. Judy has been ringing insistently. She always has a nose for the town's latest stories, and after the quake, her appetite for gossip seems insatiable. But my heart has been too full of joy to indulge in such trivialities. And then this afternoon, reality seemed to blur with the dreamlike state I've been feeling. Douglas had this mischievous glint in his eye.
"I have a surprise for you,"
he said, leading me to his den. My heart raced with anticipation. When he showed me the curtains from the dining room hung up in his den, I raised an eyebrow. Pulling them aside, he revealed another room extending behind the den. I've never really spent much time in Douglas's den. It's always been his personal space. So seeing another room didn't initially shock me. I just assumed it had always been there, part of his retreat. Douglas's expression faltered for a second, perhaps expecting a bigger reaction, but he quickly recovered. As he led me deeper into this mysterious extension, room after room unfolded. My initial nonchalant transformed into astonishment. I never realized the basement, or the den, was this expansive. The furnishings in each room were undeniably Douglas, masculine, with a touch of elegance. However, what was peculiar were the draped walls, as if concealing even more spaces. Douglas's excitement grew palpable with every room we entered. But the deeper we ventured, the more...
Excuse me, what the actual fuck?
Now, I'm pausing. Put this in. What the hell is that word? You see it. You see that word. Please let this be a normal field trip. With a slur? No way! Oh! You've got to be kidding me. This word, the definition means causing slight but persistent annoyance, discomfort, or anxiety. That's awful. Why does this word exist? I'll be frank. If there's any black people watching this, please tell me if you've heard of this word before, because I'm a white man and I don't feel comfortable enough talking about this anymore. Well, that's a word I didn't know. I wish I never knew. Before I could voice my growing urge to head back, Douglas swung open another set of drapes to reveal a breathtaking sight: an expansive kitchen, glinting with the latest appliances. The room seemed to extend even further beyond the drapes, suggesting even more unseen spaces. I stood there speechless.
Surprised?
Douglas beamed.
I thought this might be something you'd appreciate.
I could sense Douglas's expectation, waiting for that squeal of joy, the jump of excitement. But inside, I felt a strange mix of amazement and bewilderment. Why a kitchen? Was this his idea of the ultimate gift for his wife? I played along, masking my true feelings. It's magnificent, Douglas. Thank you. His face lit up, pride evident in his eyes.
This is just the beginning,
he declared.
I'll create more rooms, a dream home for us.
Create? I echoed, puzzled. The realization struck me. No construction noises, no dirt, debris, and certainly no crew of workers. Douglas, perhaps sensing my confusion, leaned closer, his voice almost a whisper.
I dreamt this, Susan. All of this. I have a gift.
I wanted to laugh, to dismiss it as one of Douglas's quirks, but the evidence stood right before me. Undeniable and overwhelming. Could it be true? My mind raced. Douglas's voice snapped me back.
Next, I'm thinking of a playroom for Sarah and Betty. Imagine their delight.
Hearing this caused a rush of warmth to spread through me. It was rare for Douglas to acknowledge our girls, let alone plan something for them. My doubt seemed to melt away, replaced with hope. Could he really bring such a dream to life? Later, in the sanctuary of our shared bed, I observed Douglas taking a particular medication. We found passion, but as it reached its mutual crescendo, his distant gaze returned. Later, the silence was interrupted by Douglas's restlessness. Dream-filled mumblings. His words were incoherent, but their tone evoked an unsettling sensation, prompting me to leave our room. Seeking solitude, I moved to my studio, where the dim light seemed to amplify my introspection. My latest painting, completed on the day of the quakes, stood in stark contrast to the stillness. Its chaotic strokes seemed to pulse, emanating a strange energy. As I stared at it, intrusive thoughts began to flood my mind, urging me to leave Douglas and escape with our girls. This idea, absurd as it was, especially when everything was finally aligning in our favor, was disturbingly forceful. Yearning for clarity and an escape from these overpowering thoughts, I decided to take my medication. As it began to work its calming magic, the tumultuous thoughts started to ebb. Now a rising sense of anticipation and excitement fills me. I eagerly await the dawn, curious about the revelations it might bring. Until tomorrow, diary. If I remember correctly, she mentioned I need to take my medication. And in one of the interviews and one of the incidents, Jack Cavernshaw was swapping Susan's medication for the mushroom. So she's also on the mushroom, which is probably why she's acting weird too, why she doesn't which is why she's so docile and so, like, able to go along with this extension shit happening and just be like, oh, it's amazing. And then as that wears off, she gets this thought, like, you need to get the fuck out of here. And she's like, I just gotta take my medication, and doles her back out, keeping her complicit. Me, man. Now, 2 entries from Mr. Thompson's journal. Let's move on to Douglas's diary. Mr. Thompson's journal, a recently unearthed journal of Mr. Thompson. July 3rd, 1978. Another godforsaken day. Woke up before dawn, as usual, couldn't sleep. Ledger sheets and profit margins danced in front of my eyes. Thompson logging is on the rocks, and all the time and sweat I've invested feels like losing a hand in a high-stakes poker game. Retreated to the den before Susan or the kids stirred. Had a dose of Umbra dewdrops. Jack sure knows how to provide an escape. Man's an odd one, but he knew just what I needed when we bumped into each other at the store last week. Knew I was at the end of my rope. He'd given me some softer stuff before, but this is something else. Takes me to places I never knew existed. When the liquid touches my tongue, it's like sinking into another world for a few blissful hours. I'm not Douglas Thompson, the failing businessman. I'm an emperor in a castle, lord of the domain where no banks call, no employees to disappoint, and my dreams are the bricks and mortar of a world far better than this. Here I can provide everything for my family. Even Susan would be over the moon. Imagine a kitchen fit for a queen. She'd adore it. Sarah and Betty were eager to show me some of their schoolwork at dinner. Hell, I don't even remember what they were about. Good kids, both of them. But they're girls. They won't be Thompsons forever. They'll be swept into another man's legacy, and the Thompson name will fade. Susan looked worried at dinner. But what does she do all day? Paints? If only she knew how much the world demands from a man. I could tell she wanted to say something, probably about my time in the den, but she just kept quiet. Just as well, she wouldn't understand. No one would understand the weight on my shoulders. I asked her to sleep in the spare room. She still has her looks, but the attraction has faded. I don't even have the drive to try for another child. A son. The dice seems loaded, so I roll them. She wants a family, a united front. But what's a king without a kingdom? First things first, I gotta save the business. Only then I can think about being a husband or a father. Maybe another dose of Umbra Dew will give me the answers. Open some locked doors in my mind. Until then, Journal. Douglas. July 15th, 1978. Today, the world spun on an axis I hadn't known. The quake, the trembling of our town, an uncanny incident in the very heart of my refuge. The den. Came home early from work, driven by a sense of urgency. There was this god-awful crack in the den wall, a product of today's quake, no doubt. Yet that fissure felt more symbolic than mere structural damage. It's like the rending of my sanity, the rupture in the life I built. It was a hideous imperfection in my retreat. The very sight of it felt like a chill in my bones, an inexplicable discomfort. To shield myself from this taunting presence, I yanked down the curtains from the upstairs and draped them over the crack in the wall. Susan, usually vigilant about the house, was lost in her own reverie. She didn't even notice or ask what I was up to. With the crack concealed, I turned to the escape Jack's elixir promised. A couple of drops under my tongue, and my consciousness was thrust into an otherworldly realm. Before me lay a vast expanse, teeming with men and women, their faces daubed with vibrant paints, their movements synchronized to the rhythmic beats of tribal drums. Their chieftain, with the eyes like ancient orbs, extended a cup towards me. As I hesitated, the chieftain nodded, urging me on. And I descended into an ethereal journey, a dimension crafted from shimmering fractals, where enigmatic entities floated, their forms ever-changing. But amidst this beauty, a dark shadow began to unfurl. An entity malicious and intent on chaos surged forward, pursuing the tribe with malevolent fervor. Its emergence was cataclysmic, the earth parting violently in its wake. The tribe, in their desperate fight, seemed to lead it closer to the boundary of this realm and ours. As the chase reached its zenith, a chilling realization dawned upon me. The entity was breaching the divide, tailing the tribe back to the waking world. And in that precise moment, as the ground trembled and the creature burst forth, I was jerked awake. Nice. The dream's echo lingered, and its implications leaving me both awed and deeply unsettled. Sitting up, my senses were assaulted by a peculiar sensation. A draft, almost ghostly, rustling the curtains. Pulling it back, I discovered an anomaly. An additional room. At first, it felt like a mirage, like a lingering fragment of my psychedelic trip, but no. It was very real. An eerie reflection of my den. It felt both alien and intimately familiar. This was no ordinary room. It was pulsating with an energy, a life of its own. Confounded, a whirlwind of emotions swirled within me. Amazement, terror, and wonder. Was this manifestation a byproduct of my mind, or perhaps the very essence of my desires and fears? Tonight, this discovery pulled Susan and I together. There was an electric charge in the air, an undeniable magnetism. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, our souls connected intimately and passionately. As our connection deepened, a wild thought raced through my mind. Rooms multiplying beneath the house, a labyrinth of my own creation. Was this the beginning of a new reality? One shaped and molded by my desires? As I drift off, one question lingers. What else can I manifest? Until tomorrow, Douglas. You sick fuck. Let's look at this from like a bird's eye view. We're going to start with Mr. Douglas Thompson. Obviously, he's a piece of shit that is very, 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 very self-centered and stupid and very stereotypical 1970s dad who's like, I must save the family business in order to be a father and a husband. If I don't have money, then I can't do that, and I must neglect my wife, neglect my children, and treat them like dog duty that I think that they are. They are not worthy of a king. It's that kind of bullshit. Like, he's pretty self-explanatory. However, I'm already going to say that I do not think that Mr. Thompson is in charge of the extension. Obviously, whenever Susan was painting that painting where she was just feeling it, letting out her emotions, that earthquake happened, which was the result of her thoughts, her desires. Well, I think what opened the gateway was the stupid drugs that jacked the umbra, whatever, the mushroom. They took it and they accidentally like opened a portal to like the real world from like this spiritual plane. And I think that's what the mayor is. The mayor broke through this reality thing and starting to infect the town, and it caused the extension to form, which I think latched on to Susan's heightened sense of emotions because she was going through it, because their business is failing, all their shit's going down, her husband's neglecting her, the kids are overwhelming, her friends are weird, like she's just going through all these emotions, and so is Mr. Thompson. And I think the mayor latches onto those emotions, and then it is able to shape reality based on feelings and those desires. It operates on an emotional, spiritual level rather than a physical one. You follow me, camera guy? These mushrooms have to give people this like clearer understanding of this extension area, because when the normal people just go in, they get like warped and changed by this place. It like completely destroys their sanity and makes them go crazy, blah, blah, blah. That was the end of part 6. So, after you've had your break, come sit back down, and we'll keep going. Next part.
Part 7. Extension Tour. The deeper we fall, the farther we sink in the muck of depravity. God.
Hello, we're back from break. I'm not reading now. I am listening and reacting. I don't want to read anymore. But you didn't know this flannel had a hood on it. Let us commence.
1985, Origin, Oregon. The Thompson family went missing whilst under investigation for tax evasion. Police were called to the Thompsons' home after neighbors reported hearing keening noises emanating from inside. Home interior was furnished with unusual exotic items and furniture.
Do you like my face
Police searched
sculpture?
Mr. Thompson's basement den and discovered a second room behind a curtain. This room connected to another not included in the house floor plan. What was initially believed to be an unauthorized extension connected to another room. And another. To this day, the Thompson extension has never been fully explored due to its gargantuan size. The Thompson family remain missing.
These images give me like early 2000s like church like playroom. You know what I mean? If any of you grew up in the South and like heavy like Christian like church is like mega churches, like it gives the mega church vibe. Like, come on children, remember you are born with sin and can't do anything about it. You are going to hell except for Jesus. It sucks that some of these you can tell that they're AI like painfully, but like they're cool. Gonna get a deep dive tour of all these spaces. Because Mr. Thompson, they suck. They're dumb. And you're dumb. Yeah! Oh my god. The last sighting of Mrs. Thompson was captured in room number 2798. I was not expecting the weird, methed out jump scare. Now we know the last sighting of her was in room 2798, which is, I don't know how you categorize a room since they're technically all connected. We'll figure it out. Audio log of Dr. Holloway, lead anthropologist of Epsilon team.
This is Dr. Adrian Holloway, audio log number 3. It's my third day in the initial section of the Thompson extension, officially designated as Threshold Commencement Zone. I am the lead anthropologist, brought in to analyze the cultural remnants and psychological effects of this environment. The descent from the Thompson den to the Threshold Commencement Zone was less a transition in space than in time. The mid-century decor, the heavy drapes, the peculiarly lush carpets underfoot. It's as if I've stepped into a 1970s fever dream. The air is thick, oppressively warm. Every breath carries the scent of hot dust, the kind that would rise from the heated coils of a forgotten radiator.
I was going to ask what you meant by that.
A sprawling labyrinth beneath a family home, adorned with furnishings that suggest both care and haste. There's an office-like quality to the ceiling tiles, yet the low ceilings press down, creating an intimacy that's uncomfortable.
Ooh.
It's disorienting. The fluorescent glow casts both light and unease in equal measure. Exploration is methodical, yet frantic. We've mapped corridors that loop back on themselves, rooms that seem to serve no purpose, staircases leading to baffling cul-de-sacs. The chaos of the architecture is mirrored in my own thoughts. Auditory hallucinations are common here. I've heard a child's laughter, the clinking of glasses as if from a distant party, and sometimes a keening that vibrates through the walls.
Enough with the keening.
The medication helps. It dulls the edges. But the sense of existential dread is like a tide, ebbing and flowing.
Yeah.
I empathize with Echo Team, those sent deeper into the extension. They must be wading through a psychological mire. In quieter moments, there's an unnerving nostalgia. It's like being ill as a child, feverish, when reality warps and the familiar becomes threatening.
This guy's nailing the
weight
vibes.
of blankets and the distorted shadows they cast. It's that same illogical fear, the terror of the mundane.
Ooh.
We all feel it. The dread that the exit, the simple parting of a curtain to the den, will one day reveal not the path home, but a gaping maw of nothingness. I must maintain professional detachment, but the truth is, I feel a mounting terror. I find myself rushing toward the exit each time we conclude for the day, half expecting, half fearing that it won't be there. End log.
The way he said all of that was hit the nail on the fucking head. Like, the arrangement sucks, but it like still gives this like playful sense of like wonder, but like in an unsettling way. It's like the ceilings are like bright and lit up, but they're low, a forced intimacy. This place is a contradiction. Like, to me, the symbolism of this physical manifestation, the desires of both Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, it's like literal thoughts that are just manifesting physically. It's like how your brain is constantly bouncing between thoughts. Like, especially if you're like me and you're constantly thinking in your head and you're getting distracted and doing all this stuff. Imagine your ADHD brain. This extension is that. They're just trying to come up with like quick fixes and just adding and adding and adding and adding. Mundane is terrifying. You're not allowed to be bored anymore. If you're bored, you're lazy. If you don't feel like doing anything, that's bad. You can't just sit with nothing. Damn. Next part. Gastronomical array, section Delta.
Holloway, audio log number 7. I'm currently standing in what we've labeled the Culinary Conclave, scientifically designated as Gastronomical Array Section Delta.
I thought
Access to this area was gained through the previously documented Threshold Commencement Zone. My observations today are disturbingly peculiar. The conclave begins as an innocuous show kitchen, pristine, almost sterile, with a veneer of domestic normality. Appliances hum quietly, suggesting recent use. It's unsettling, the showroom feel, as if someone set the stage for a life that was never lived. Progression through the conclave leads to sequential kitchens, each variation more chaotic than the last. It's like wandering through the evolutionary stages of domestic design, culminating in a surreal exhibition of science fiction-inspired appliances. They are reminiscent of set pieces from Star Trek, a show I'm told Mr. Thompson favored.
Nerd.
These devices are absurdly futuristic for the era they represent, with functionality that seems ahead of their time.
Oh, I love like retro future.
How claws at my mind. The manpower, the years of construction, the sheer logistics of the excavation. It defies explanation. No single man, let alone one without engineering expertise, could accomplish this. Yet, there's a signature in the madness, a hint that all this springs from the mind of Thompson. Deeper in, the kitchens mutate. It's as if the rooms themselves suffer from a kind of architectural cancer, a parasitic growth devoid
architectural cancer.
This is where the hallucinations intensify. Phantom smells waft through the air, scented echoes of my mother's cooking. It's a siren call to something primal, yet my rational mind recoils from the darkened chambers ahead. I'm clad in a hazmat suit, despite the conclave's resemblance to the safe threshold commencement zone. The fate of Hiroshi Nakamura from Beta Team looms over me. His novel syndrome, birthed from this very place, is a stark reminder of the risks. I understand now the truth in those dismissed rumors. There's a morbid curiosity festering within me. The extension, it's an enigma, demanding to be unraveled. I wonder, did the scientists of the Manhattan Project feel this same mingling of dread and excitement?
No.
Are we standing on the precipice of a discovery as monumental, as dangerous as the atomic bomb? The temptation to retreat is strong, yet I will stay. I must, if not for the sake of understanding, then to ensure this knowledge doesn't fall into less scrupulous hands. There's a responsibility here, a weight that I cannot shirk. For now, I press on, deeper into the heart of Thompson's labyrinth. End log.
Dr. Adrian Holloway. I thought at first he was going to be like another incident like Hiroshi or Sayoban, where they just find a section of this place and they become obsessed with it. Holloway, being an anthropologist, hopefully Editing Nick put the definition of anthropology on the screen when it first popped up. Did you?
Sure.
So I'm not going to say it again. You could have read it on the screen or Googled it yourself. He's looking at this as like, why would somebody build it this way? He's looking at it. He's staying grounded in reality. He's being affected by it, but not in the way everyone else is. He's just walking in like, oh, I can see what it's doing, what it's trying to do. And it's enticing for me, but I have to like maintain like a level of professionalism because I want to know the answers. And if I get lost in this, I'm going to end up like all the other incidents, because he referenced Hiroshi and was like, I'm not going to turn into that guy. I don't want to do that. I think there's something special about Holloway here. I'm watching you, Holloway.
Adrian Holloway, audio log number 11. I've transitioned from the gastronomical array section Delta to what we've clinically named the recreational mimicry sector Gamma. More informally, this is the playroom. The entrance exudes an innocent charm, awash with vibrant colors and whimsical furniture, but this facade does not extend far. The air is stale here, heavy with the pungent aroma of PVC.
You say playroom. All I see are like pallets and beds. Please define playroom. Please define playroom. Please define playroom.
And an unsettling, sour undertone reminiscent of sweaty socks. It's a scent that curdles in the back of the throat, as pervasive as the keening that permeates these walls. It's apparent that these rooms were designed for the Thompson children.
No. This doesn't look like it's designed for children. It looks like it's designed to make children comfortable. Why are there beds and shit? Why are there beds? So stop. This isn't. Where's like the slides? Where's the McDonald's play place? Where's all the beds?
An almost cliched vision of juvenile delight. Bulbous chairs and oversized cushions sprawl across the vibrant carpeted floors. Tunnels of padded fabric beckon with their soft, enveloping folds, leading to hidden alcoves and secret chambers. Yet, as one ventures further, this childlike fantasy is progressively corrupted. The padded forms become less inviting, more constrictive. Spaces designed for play warp into a maze of PVC and foam that ensnares rather than embraces. It's a tactile contradiction. The softness of the materials belies the suffocating atmosphere they now create. This space,
I don't like it. I hate it.
Was intended as a playground, yet it betrays an egoistic quality. Mr. Thompson's signature is omnipresent. His need to imprint his identity on every corner.
And what identity is that?
Even overtaken by an adult's vanity.
More like an adult's perversion.
Shadowed by a lounge for more sinister adult pleasures. There's a sleaziness that undercuts the childlike joy this place should hold. It suggests that the playroom was merely a precursor to something darker.
No
Perhaps
shit.
The boudoir, which lies ahead in my exploration. It's troubling, the proximity of such adult spaces to where children once played. The daily return to the Thompson den grows increasingly draining. The extension, with its keening wails and oppressive atmosphere, is a marathon of the mind and body. I'm certain this exhaustion is by design, a mechanism to erode one's defenses, leaving us vulnerable to the extension's more insidious effects. I've resorted to ear defenders to dull the keening, yet the vibrations
Ear defenders?
are inescapable.
Ear defenders, go! La 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 la. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
They resonate within my very bones. The silence from the ear defenders has only amplified my paranoia. Even now, as I dictate these observations, I feel eyes, glimpses of movements in my periphery. This playroom is no longer a place of innocence. It's become a distorted landscape, a monument to the complexities and contradictions of its creator. As I ready myself to depart this area for the boudoir, I am keenly aware of the duality of my feelings, a desire to flee the discomfort here, and a creeping dread of what is yet to come. End log.
I caught on quickly, but yeah, you saw all the cushions, all the beds, all the weird spaces. I don't understand how so many goddamn adults are just the most despicable when it comes to children. Release the fucking list.
Dr. Adrian Holloway, audio log number 15, from within the confines of what's termed the boudoir, officially the intimate quarters sector Theta.
Quiet.
It's a twisted maze of bedrooms, each echoing the gaudiness of a Vegas replete with the depravity one might reluctantly associate with such a place. The atmosphere is oppressive, heavy with the residual stink of cigarettes and a cloying aftershave. Woody, synthetic, masking the hormonal tang of halitosis and the shellfish reek of unwashed extremities.
Ew!
As I stand in each room, it's
the shellfish reek
for specific individuals, perhaps women from Thompson's rumored affairs. The notion is absurd, the number of rooms too vast, yet the beds tell silent stories of use and misuse, their sheets twisted, some still holding the warmth of bodies long gone. The televisions, inert monoliths in each room, face the beds with their blank screens, silent witnesses to the room's sordid past. They lack connections to the outside world, suggesting they were
a weird chair.
In-house productions, likely of an illicit nature. The perversion here is layered, complex, suggesting a man of deep and dark compulsions. The air itself is thick with despair, and each breath feels like an invasion of the soul. It clings to the velvet drapes and lurks in the garish light fixtures. I find myself scrubbing my skin raw each night, attempting to cleanse myself of the boudoir's vile taint, but it's a stench that seems to have seeped into my pores. The silence of the countless women who must have been brought here, the absence of their outcry, is troubling. Were they
sedated?
The thought churns my stomach.
The mushrooms
of abuse, of control, are everywhere, from the lingering smells to the disarray of the rooms. But nothing prepared me for the sight in one of the chambers, a room with carpet indented with what are unmistakably hoof prints.
Huh?
The bed was not just disheveled, but desecrated, covered in coarse hair that I can only describe as equine.
Bronies be crazy nowadays.
Monstrous. The disgust I feel is all-consuming.
And in the next room, I found countless jars filled with a corrosive yet oddly white substance. The room reeked of warm salt and plastic of colors. You're on the internet watching this. You know exactly what you're this far into the video and you don't know what I'm talking about? Come on. Come on, you sick. I'm included in that.
Listed on my survey of the repository. The pressure is immense. Her leverage over me, undeniable. I'm trapped in this undertaking, propelled no longer by curiosity, but coercion.
That's a big layup.
The toll on my team is also visible. We're all bound by secrets and obligations that force us forward. Each morning is a battle against revulsion and dread. Soon, I will be too far from the Thompson den to return each evening.
Oh, shit.
The prospect of camping within this hellish landscape is abhorrent, yet unavoidable.
Don't sleep in there.
My resolve is fracturing. Fear is a constant companion now. End log.
Jesus Christ. Was he throwing up? Alright, next video. Good.
This is Dr. Adrian Holloway, audio log number 16. An incident has shaken us all. Gerald Vincent Harper, our hydrologist, suffered a severe psychological break following his work in the lustrate chamber. A section filled with an unnerving array of bathrooms.
Alright, what does lustrate mean? To Google! Okay, I was actually not expecting this definition. Lustrate. Purify by expiatory sacrifice, ceremonial washing, or some other ritual action. So, think a baptism, or a murder bath. Don't know why they picked that name. Let's find out.
A section filled with an unnerving array of bathrooms. The nightmares he described were harrowing, and his subsequent attack on Junior Franklin was unlike him. The two have since been removed from the extension for medical care. Mayor Green's unexpected decision to grant us a 2-day break was both surprising and deeply relieving. This pause has thankfully pushed back the daunting prospect of having to camp within the extension's confines, a scenario I've been dreading. Now,
oh, thank God.
The immediate fear of spending nights surrounded by its unsettling atmosphere has been lifted, offering a brief respite from the tension that's been building. However, this relief is not without its complexities, as it comes at the expense of my colleagues' well-being. Green's assistant presented each of us with a hefty sum.
Bathtub and then like the cuck tub. Whoever had the amount of lead poisoning in the 70s to come up with, you know what this bathroom needs? A carpet.
$1,000 as we gathered in the Thompson kitchen. It felt like hush money.
Okay, so $1,000 in 1978 would be close to about $5,000 now. Not bad for that amount.
A bribe to soothe our rattled spirits. Still, we couldn't help but revel in the sudden change to our schedule. The atmosphere turning almost festive once the assistant departed. The team is vibrant for the first time in weeks, making
just hanging out in the house
for our short-lived freedom. But beneath the laughter, I sense a morbid undertone, as if these days off are a final grace. Two of my colleagues whispered plans of flight, of abandoning this cursed place.
Why are y'all still staying in the house?
Such actions. Mayor Green's network is extensive, her reach long. To abscond would be to invite a different kind of darkness.
That tub didn't have a
one
side.
That extends beyond the confines of the extension. Yet I can't help but wish them silent luck in my heart.
Double toilet!
Despite the lightened mood, a chilling premonition grips me, a sense of an impending finality that I can't shake. I reassure myself that it's just the strain of the past weeks, that the extension holds no real power over us. Tomorrow, I will not descend into that place. I will breathe the open air of origin, bask in its unassuming normalcy, and perhaps, in doing so, I will dispel these growing shadows of paranoia.
What is this? Okay, so we will end this part with Bertha. All right, you know what that means. It's time for a break. Why don't you go outside? What do you mean it's 3 a.m.? It's the perfect time. Go outside. It's 3 a.m. It's quiet. Go outside. Go outside. Go outside. Go outside. See you in the next part. Okay, well, I didn't know there was a part 6 to this, because it was, the part 6 was like part of the title that was cut, it was like cut off. I mean, you know how it is, like you can't see the whole thing, you're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Way out there. So, what you got for me, Holloway?
Holloway, audio log number 17. This is Dr. Adrian Holloway, audio log number 17. Just a few hours have passed since my last entry. The night took an unexpected turn. I was en route to the nearby town of Four Bear Falls with some teammates, eager for the promised diversion of a party. Yet, as the miles started to stretch between us and Origin, a gnawing apprehension took hold. The fear that stepping away from Origin, even briefly, might sever my will to return.
Good.
Concerns about what Mayor Green could do if I tried to flee clouded my excitement. Reluctantly, I feigned illness and asked to be dropped off at a motel on the outskirts of Origin, the Mary Rest. Stepping into the Mary Rest Inn's lobby was like walking into a scene from a surrealist play.
What hasn't been a surrealist play?
Belly up yet alive in its aquatic dance, was as bizarre as it was inexplicably mesmerizing. The air was thick with the smell of aged wood and sharp citrus, a contrast that was bizarrely comforting. The woman at the reception was another anomaly. her auburn hair and dark, playful eyes.
I would love to see this.
But it was her method of peeling an orange with a straight razor that truly mesmerized me. Such an odd yet fascinating ritual in this quaint motel. It was a strange, almost otherworldly welcome. This room, though modest, feels like a sanctuary after the oppressive atmosphere of the extension. Sleeping in the Thompson house always left me uneasy, aware of the dark expanse lurking below. Here, I can at least pretend there's no hidden depth waiting beneath my bed. The thought that the extension could extend even beneath this motel crossed my mind. But the absence of that haunting keening convinces me otherwise. After a rejuvenating shower, I'm allowing myself to look forward to the break. Plans to explore Origin, to start the day with breakfast at the T-Top Diner, feel like the first steps towards normalcy in what feels like an eternity. Tonight, I go to bed with a sense of optimism, a rarity of late. Yet beneath this veneer of positivity, the inexorable ticking of time persists in the back of my mind, a reminder of the looming return to the extension. End log.
I definitely think Holloway is like a key player. It's all dark and evil, these twisted desires that don't make sense. He's like this source of like reason, even though he is overwhelmed. He's getting this sense of dark doom and gloom. He's able to step away from it. Either it's like destined for him to do this, so like things are lining up to where he's not going to get affected, or it's lucky. I mean, some say fate and luck are the same thing. I don't know. I'm an idiot.
The machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Thus ends the tour from Holloway. Moving on to the next part. Part 8. Here we go!
Part 8. Power and Machines.
All I know is this is like the calm before the final arc of the story. For safety, buckle up. Click. All strapped in? Good. Let's go.
A town now synonymous with the mysterious Thompson extension. In the heart of Origin, a town now synonymous with the mysterious Thompson extension, Martin's Butchery, owned by the unassuming Martin James, rises to unexpected fame. Opening its doors in early 2000, the butchery quickly became known for its peculiar meat blend, labeled the Origin Special. By mid-2000, Martin was shipping his product to high-end restaurants worldwide. However, the true source of the meat remained a closely guarded secret,
what kind of building was that?
Known only to Martin. The night of November 3rd, 2001, marked a turning point when a fire broke out in Martin's Butchery. Above the butchery, in Martin's
right after
apartment,
9/11 too.
The local fire brigade stumbled upon a shocking and grotesque scene that turned the butcher's tale from one of success to one of horror. Firefighters discovered an enormous, tumorous growth occupying almost the entirety of the upstairs bedroom. This living mass was connected to an array of medical equipment, resembling a makeshift life support system.
Not people.
As they investigate further, a horrifying realization dawns. This mass was part of Donna James, Martin's comatose wife. In the early 1980s, Donna James was a respected, retired nurse known for her dedication and skill. Her life took a dramatic turn when she was selected for a unique role in a high-risk expedition into the Thompson extension. This dangerous, subterranean complex, hidden beneath the Thompson family home, has been the subject of intense speculation and research. Disclosed files from that period reveal that Donna was chosen for her medical expertise, tasked with ensuring the health and safety of her team as they delved into the extension's depths. Under interrogation, Martin confessed that he had kept Donna's return from the extension a closely guarded secret, hidden even from the closest neighbors. He revealed that she had been suffering from an inexplicable and rapid form of gigantism, triggered by the extension. Bedridden and unrecognizable, she became entirely dependent on Martin. Over time, living with Donna's transformed state, Martin developed an obsessive attraction to the scent of her growths. Before long, he began cutting away pieces of the mass, initially for himself. However, when a few close friends sampled the meat, Unknowingly, and praised its taste, Martin saw an opportunity. In the days following the fire and Martin's arrest, rumors swirled about the fire brigade's response. Some claim that they chose to let the building burn, a mercy act to end Donna's suffering, given her monstrous size and the impossibility of her rescue.
So that makes me think that her going into the extension, because normally, like with all the other researchers, like the Mercer family, Siobhan, they all had like obsessions that like related to something that they like cared about. Was that one, when she went there, it more catered towards his perverse desire to make like this perfect thriving business using his wife. Like he wanted to use his wife for himself.
Don't worry, baby. Don't worry, Donna. I'm gonna eat your tumors. You're gonna be all better. I'll eat the tumors. I'm gonna eat your tumors.
This has all gotten out of hand. I never meant for it to go this far. No, I didn't. I just wanted to build something great, something magnificent. But look at what it's become. A nightmare. A twisted, festering nightmare. Did I know? Did I always know? Deep down in the darkest corners of my mind, did I want this power, this godlike control? No, I didn't. I loved them. I loved my girls, Sarah and Betty. I looked into their eyes and saw the fear, the confusion, and I ended them. For what? Power. Control. The mayor chose me, not Jack, not anyone else. Me! I built this extension. I created the Thompson trenches. I am the architect of this world. They should be grateful. Grateful to be part of something so grand, so divine. But it was wrong. All of it. I took Susan, my dear, sweet Susan, and turned her into a shell of herself. Drugged, manipulated. I destroyed her. And my girls, I can't undo it. I can't bring them back. No remorse. This is what needed to happen. The mayor, Mach Ayeli.
I'm sorry.
It promised.
I'm sorry. I'm pissed off. You killed them. And for what? They got a little bit upset, so you just straight up So when are you getting butt by a pine cone? Doug? Can I call you Doug? I'm going to call you Doug. I'm going to call you pine cone butt Doug.
Me power beyond imagining. I will be immortal. I will transcend
literally
this
pissed off.
This is my destiny. They were sacrifices, necessary sacrifices. But their faces, those eyes, I can't escape them. I see them in my dreams, hear their voices. It's too late to turn
necessary
back.
Fucking
Too
sacrifices.
Late to
Fuck
undo
you.
What's been done. I am bound to this path, and I will see it through. For the mayor, for the extension, for the power that awaits me. Susan, Sarah, Betty, forgive me. Or don't. It doesn't matter anymore.
What will you have left? A kingdom of nothing.
And I will see this to the end. This is my creation, my legacy.
Don't.
And I will
come
not
back
let anyone,
as animatronics
not
and kill his ass.
stand in the way of what I must do.
But Doug, about to get his I hope he gets his comeuppance, because he needs to get something coming up his rectum, and that being an industrial scented pine cone. It ain't breaking in there. It'll stay in firm, and it's gonna smell like pine sol.
All I wanted was to grab Judy and pull her out, even if it meant knocking some sense into her physically. But she was gone, down to Mr. Thompson's den. Nellie's voice faltered as she described following her sister, calling after her, only to witness Judy disappear behind a curtain that served as the threshold to the Thompson extension. Judy was ensnared, incapable of perceiving the malevolent reality before her. To her, the corrupted air of the place whispered promises of a paradise, her senses dulled and deceived by Mach Ayeli's vile enchantment. Nellie recounted the desperate pursuit of her sister through the twisting corridors of the extension. A journey that plunged them deeper into the heart of darkness.
Who?
Judy, bewitched by the false utopia Mak Ayeli projected, led me to a chamber of such malevolence. It served as the nucleus of the nightmare that had infested Haven Ridge from beneath.
I think Machiavelli is the mayor. I think that's just like its Latin name, because they wouldn't just introduce like a new like demon spirit. Like, you got the horse thing that people want to marry and please, and then you've also got Machiavelli, which is not his name. That I think that's editing. Nick, put it on the screen.
So what happened to the Thompsons?
Oh, you know, they fell into an existential chaos.
1985, Origin, Oregon. The Thompson family went missing whilst under investigation for tax evasion. Police were called to the Thompsons' home after neighbors reported hearing keening noises emanating from inside. Home interior was furnished with
we know where two of them are, dead.
Items and furniture. Police searched Mr. Thompson's basement den
we know
and discovered
the
a second room behind a curtain. This room connected to another not included in the house floor plan.
What happened to the face
was
sculpture?
To be an unauthorized extension
oh wait, no, that's the
connected to
downstairs.
another room. And another. To this day, the Thompson extension has never been fully
offering anything new
explored due
here?
to its gargantuan size. The Thompson family remain missing.
I like the one with Judy walking around. I like these new looks. Suzanne. And thus ends part 8. We now go to part 9, which are the final audio logs from our dear Adrian Holloway. So, he's venturing back in. Let's see what he finds.
Part 9. Final audio logs of Dr. Holloway.
Will he survive the Thompson extension? Will Doug butt him with the same pine cone and screw over Holloway once and for all? Let's find out.
This is Dr. Adrian Holloway. Running through the forest, every branch and bramble seemed intent on tearing me apart. My skin is scratched, my clothes are in tatters, and I'm shaking, beyond exhausted. When I finally made it back to the motel,
how are the gloves still like
stand? The weight of what happened at Nellie's, her accusations, they're crushing me. Nellie thinks I'm corrupted, that I've been tainted by Makayeli. She said I see its malevolence as divine, just like her sister did, just like others in Origin. And the photograph, Susan Thompson looked radiant, angelic even. It doesn't make sense.
What are we talking about
That's
here?
the power of Makayeli, isn't it? To twist perceptions, to ensnare the mind. I can't stop thinking about the nightmare I had. That grotesque creature kissing my forehead, the throbbing pain that followed. Nellie said my third eye has been tainted. I can't help but wonder if that nightmare was real. Something has marked me, changed me. I sit here, staring at the photograph of the Thompson family that I took from their house. I didn't understand why I took it at the time, but now it feels like it holds the answers. I removed my gloves, hands trembling, and touched the photograph. The visions that followed were overwhelming. I saw Susan Thompson descending into the extension, confronting Douglas and the mayor. The images were fragmented, confusing. I sensed Douglas was mortally wounded, but Susan, she's alive in a way. Bound in a checkmate with Makayeli, both trapped in a battle, neither can win. She's in pain, so much pain, yet there's a sense of content resignation. She needs help. I know what I saw might be another illusion, a trap laid by Makayeli, but the compulsion to go back, to find Susan, is overwhelming. I know it's dangerous, foolish even, but I also know I'll go insane if I don't. I need closure. I need to end what started there, one way or the other. The plan was to return to the extension at 8 a.m. with my team, but I can't wait that long. The pull is too strong. I have to go now, while I still have the will to confront whatever truth or illusion awaits me.
Oh, hell yeah. Horse! Horse! The thing that when he picked up the picture and saw visions of like Makaeli, which I believe is the demon's name, it's got to be some kind of demon. It's got to be its real name, and it's like taking on the persona of the horse mayor thing. I think Susan has power that contradicts the mayor's will. I think what's drawing him here, Holloway, is Susan and not the mayor. I think that's the distinction. I think he's being drawn for, like, I guess for lack of a better term, a divine purpose. Like he said, he saw Susan and she looked radiant. So I think she's trying to get Holloway to save her and kind of like put an end to this. Like get butt Doug out of here. He's mortally wounded. You need to come finish the job, and you need to turn that horse into demon glue. But anyway,
I've returned to the Thompson house.
Congrats.
The silence here is oppressive, as if the walls themselves are bracing
but
for the evil they
rain
can barely
overlay
enclose.
Was getting to me.
As I approached the house, I saw a figure standing on the porch of the
Judy!
adjacent home. The Thompsons' neighbor, Judy, Nellie's sister, was waiting.
Okay, I was right.
Almost as if she knew I'd return.
Nellie was her sister.
Her presence was as unsettling as the haunted expressions she's worn while watching us from her window during our initial expeditions.
That's a cool shot.
Wearing a saturated red jacket, she hurriedly ran over to me and thrust a camera into my hands, her voice barely a whisper. "Take another picture. Please, take another picture. My wretched sister stole the last one from me." Her plea was desperate, haunted by the loss of the last photograph Nellie had taken from her. It was a heart-wrenching moment, seeing her so consumed by her sister's actions and the corruption of Makaeli. I wonder if I'll end up like her if I survive the night. Compassion overtook me, and despite the urgency pressing on my mind, I reassured her. "I will, Judy. Just try to get some rest." She nodded weakly, shuffling back towards her house across the garden, barefoot. Turning back to the Thompson residence, I entered, each step heavy with the weight of impending doom. The house feels different now. Every corner seems to whisper secrets of the dark events that have unfolded within its walls.
These lampshades,
I found myself drawn to Susan's art studio. It's been stripped bare. The walls that had previously held vibrant paintings now lay barren. I sat down on the floor, trying to collect my thoughts. I tried to imagine Susan here, painting, lost in her art. I wanted to touch something, to get a sense of what she was feeling before she went down into the extension. But there's nothing, not even a paintbrush. Everything other than a large workbench was taken. It's the only room that was cleared, and I can't help but think this was deliberate. I stood up, feeling a sharp pain in the center of my forehead as something caught my eye, a glint on the workbench. Tiny fragments of crystal or glass. I hesitated, knowing the risks, but my need for answers overpowered my caution. Picking up a piece the size and thickness of a $1 coin, a sharp pain lanced through my forehead.
What?
The same spot that throbbed incessantly since that nightmarish visitation. In that moment of contact, a vision flashed before me.
I thought it was a cat.
A white fox. Its fur
that's a wolf.
glowing with an ethereal light, illuminating the darkness around it. The clarity of the vision suggested these fragments were part of a talisman Susan might have created here and carried into the extension, a shield against the horror that awaited her.
No, we do not need a MacGuffin introduced all of a sudden. Susan all of a sudden crafted this magical amulet that kept her safe. Why do we have to have a MacGuffin talisman all of a sudden? Is it for, I guess it's for Holloway, to give him a reason to like not be overtaken by the allure of the extension? I don't know. Me and MacGuffins, there's such a cop-out for storytelling sometimes. So we're going to skip that shit, and we're just not even going to pay it any mind. Just put it out your mind.
Eyes suggested. It was a key, perhaps to clearing the corruption within me. For one crazed moment, I considered finding a way to embed a fragment into my brain.
What the fuck?
Into the pineal gland, in an attempt to clear the corruption shrouding my mind's eye. But such an attempt would be certain death.
Yeah.
I looked at Judy's camera, an idea forming. Placing the fragment over the lens, I peered through it. The room broke into a kaleidoscope of colors and shapes, yet through this distorted view, I hope to see the truth of Susan Thompson, to see her as she truly is, not as Makayeli wants her to be seen. This may be my last recording. If I do not make it back, if I succumb to the illusions or the truth of the extension, know that I sought to end this, to find peace for Susan and her girls, for all of us. I'm going now into the heart of darkness, into the Thompson extension.
Godspeed, Mr. Magic Camera.
I've made my way back into the Thompson extension. I can't wear my gloves anymore, not if I'm to follow Susan's path.
Why?
Her psychic breadcrumb trail.
What? Why can't you wear
gloves?
As
I touch objects along the way, her emotions flood into me.
Oh.
Terror, fury, sorrow, and a powerful...
I might have been right about the emotion thing.
For what her weakness wrought. But there's also a strength, a fierce determination not to let her story end here. Judy's camera is both a burden and a boon on this journey through the extension. Her memories, imprinted within the device, seep into my perception, painting the corridors with a surreal beauty that belies their true nature. The extension appears palatial, adorned with an elegance that could seduce anyone into believing its lies. This illusion is dangerously seductive, constantly attempting to ensnare me into its fabricated paradise. However, the camera also serves as my anchor to reality. The white fox crystal affixed over the camera's lens acts as a critical filter. Each time the extension's false beauty threatens to overwhelm me, I peer through the lens. The crystal cuts through the deception like a blade, dispelling the mesmerizing illusions to expose the grim underpinnings of this place. This dual nature of the camera, both revealing and obscuring, hangs heavily in my hands, a constant reminder of the thin line I tread between reality and madness. I'm venturing deeper into the extension than ever before. The architecture here is surreal,
it's very odd.
as if the facade Douglas projected is falling apart. Or perhaps, in this sanctum, it never bothered to disguise itself fully. Anyone who makes it this far knows too much or has lost all semblance of sanity. Ahead lies what must be the core of the extension, a grand, imposing chamber unlike anything I've encountered. The space is reminiscent of a colossal auditorium with rows of seats fanning out before a massive, grotesque structure.
Oh, it's a horse!
It's clear this place was designed to bear witness to something monumental. In the dim, flickering light, I see the audience, an assortment of severely deformed women.
Ew!
They look as if an untalented sculptor had attempted to craft lingerie models out of wax that had started to melt. Despite their grotesque deformities and missing limbs, each woman bears exaggerated, unnatural...
Sorry, just the way he said that. Some untalented schmuck made these really shitty-looking mannequins. Hey!
Each woman bears exaggerated, unnaturally enlarged features.
Yeah, come on, man.
Swollen attributes fabricated to fulfill the distorted lusts of
Just
their
make
creator.
sure they got big titties. I don't care about the rest.
Their mouths repeating seductive flirtations to Douglas. Their voices are hollow, mechanical.
Do you like my
as
big
if they are
titties?
automatons stuck in a loop. There is no spark of sentience in their eyes, only a reflection of their creator's twisted desires.
So he just made sex
sickening.
dolls.
I realize these women were created by Douglas, inspired by real women he had lusted over.
Okay.
They are soulless golems, brought to life by the extension's malevolent power, placed here to bear witness to the culmination of his plan. At the center of this nightmarish theater is a massive biomechanical structure. It's a grotesque mimicry of a horse.
Oh, real
sculpted
horse.
from living tissue
Real
and
dead
machinery
horse.
intertwined in a horrific parody of life. Tendrils as thick as tree trunks writhe and coil around it, like oversized nerves pulsating with a grotesque heartbeat.
Interesting.
Lying at the base of this abomination is, my God, it's Wakaniki, the skewbald mare of the Anunnaki tribe.
What? You have never said that name until now. Wakaniki? Then who's Machiavelli? Am I missing something here? Am I missing something here? Am I missing something here?
Am I missing something here?
Are we just like poo-pooing random shit for the ending? Like, let's just introduce a new character, introduce a random MacGuffin that is just some magical crystal where you can fight the corruption all of a sudden. Where before, these dudes had to wear like hazmat, like... All of a sudden, in her studio, which has been stripped bare... Somehow, there is this crystal sculpture that is shattered that everybody missed somehow. I'm crashing out. Let's crash out hard.
After all these years, it's still alive. Its ulcerated lips are pulled back over.
I thought the horse was metaphorical.
Grimace of agony. Diseased flesh clings to protruding bones, and its chest heaves with labored breaths. Its eyes are black, empty voids, devoid of any spark of sentience. The mare lies here as a forsaken vessel.
Okay.
Its spirit, I fear, is ensnared somewhere far more disturbing, leaving behind a living shell trapped in endless torment. I suspect. No, I know. This node, this grotesque heart of the extension, is what Douglas hoped to use to transfer Machka Ayeli's consciousness, trapped within the mare, into its original body that now masquerades as the extension. Yet, this planned reunion seems to have been desperately interrupted. Beside the mare, the floor is stained with trails of dried blood, not from this pitiful creature, but human. One trail leads out of the chamber, panic and desperation written in its hasty smears. The other delves deeper into this sanctum, drawn in deliberate, determined strokes.
I hope that's Doug's anal
Touching
bleeding.
the latter, visions of that fateful night flood through me. Susan confronting Douglas, both marked by wounds and fury. Their conflict was violent, their separation tragic.
Kick his ass!
Douglas might have fled this place, but Susan, she ventured deeper into the belly of this nightmare. I need to keep moving. The truth of what happened to Susan.
Did she kick his ass?
She did. It's here. I can feel it calling to me.
I hope she kicked his
This
ass.
place wants to show me, and I can't. I won't turn away now. Whatever lies ahead, I must face it. Susan's story, her sacrifice. It deserves to be known. And I need to know if there's any part of her left to save.
That was Holloway's final audio logs. Crashed out a little bit. Machiavelli, whatever, is the demon that looks like the horse. It looks like a horse because it is possessing a real horse named, I'm just going to call him Tokaboka. Named, the Tokaboka was the name of the actual horse that was part of that Native American tribe. I believe that Douglas astral projected himself to, that he drank that thing, and then the horse thing broke into their reality. The Machiavelli spirit is the extension itself, but it's possessing this horse, and it's using the extension and Douglas to craft this biomechanical horse sculpture thing so it can like exist and not be in this dying horse that it's struggling to keep alive. This series crashes out and just the end. I'm gonna be pissed, but I'm very glad that Douglas got his ass kicked by goddamn Susan. Let's go, Susan. Part 10.
Part 10. Finding what you are not looking for.
We're getting towards the end. I'm starting to lose my mind, starting to crash out, starting to crash out. Yeah, motherfuckers, we starting to crash out. It's fucking midnight and we're getting this done. We're watching the rest of this weird ending. I hope it has a satisfying payoff. Otherwise, I'm going to commit an act of kindness for someone.
It has been nearly 2 weeks since the mayor last communicated with me. A silence that is both unusual and disconcerting.
Oh, that's Mayor Green.
I fear that Douglas has failed, and that something catastrophic may have occurred.
Douglas has failed? Does she know? Is she in on it?
I believe that his plans have likely come to naught. His failure opens doors for my own designs. I cannot help but worry about the mayor. About Machiavelli.
Stop swaying like that.
I need to understand what has transpired at the Thompson home. There is too much at stake, and diving headfirst
the mayor's working with the mayor.
Potentially hazardous waters without a clear picture would be reckless, even for me. I consider myself the linchpin in the grand scheme of things, the only one capable of steering this impending chaos toward a new order. My survival and leadership are paramount. I will initiate a police investigation. The local force is already scrutinizing Douglas for tax evasion, a convenient pretext. I'll ensure an anonymous tip guides them directly to the heart of this mystery. They will serve as the canaries in this dark coal mine. It's a necessary measure to ensure my safety and to preserve my ability to step in when the time is right.
Once I deliver the letter
leveraging Croft's existing network, which I have painstakingly infiltrated and bent to my will, I can control the narrative and maintain secrecy around whatever lurks beneath.
Now that I control the media, I have the power.
I'm orchestrating a delicate balance, manipulating from the shadows until I am ready to emerge as the savior and new architect of Origin's destiny.
Damn, girl. There's that Keening.
Long night at work? You should rest.
Who's this?
Come to bed. You look like you could use
it. This is a sad officer.
I'm taking the kids to school. See you tonight?
Do we know this man? Okay, it is crazy to have a picture, a headshot of yourself above your bed. I know you're like possessed by a demon and all that stuff, but like, come on. Aha! I see a thing in the window. Wow, a thing! What is that? Is it the horse? Is it the horse?
Take care of yourself, and send my love to the family.
Officer Barnes.
Thank you, I just need a few days.
Honey, wake up.
Oh my God!
There's something important I need to do.
That startled me more than like all the other creepy stuff. Imagine that guy just like, honey, wake up. We need to go. Even if I knew this man was in my house, if I woke up to thunder and lightning, when did the Wendigo get in here? That's a skinwalker. Get out. Peace be with you.
It's the middle of the night.
children. You brought them there?
The police have uncovered what they're dubbing an extension beneath
Hey, lady, your reflection's looking the wrong way.
Frankly, I'm both disappointed and unsurprised. That it's merely seen as an extension, a product of Douglas's ego and limited imagination made manifest, is vexing. His fixation on shaping Marc Aielli into this banality led to his downfall. I've taken precautions to keep the investigation under wraps. The police are bound by non-disclosure agreements. Publicly, the story is that the Thompson family fled the country to evade tax evasion charges. It's a convenient cover, affording us the time to delve into this vast labyrinth beneath their home and unravel what truly transpired with Douglas and the mayor. But a fascinating development arose with Officer Ryan Barnes, dispatched to the Thompson estate. Reported missing 3 days after the investigation commenced, he last visited his mother, divulging an encounter with what he termed the skewbald mare's remnant. This
remnant
was an intriguing lead that frustratingly led nowhere until last night, when police were again summoned to his mother's home. Neighbors reported hearing guttural, keening sounds coming from inside the trailer. The police discovered a walkie-talkie concealed in a shoe under the bed, emitting those noises. Barbara, his mother, was in a delirious state, taken into care and later questioned. She believes her missing son left the radio during his final visit, claiming he contacted her from inside the Thompson home. He explained taking his family there as an offering to a vagrant remnant of the mayor seeking a host. It demanded his children, but their innocence made them incompatible. They seemingly perished during the mayor's attempts, as did Barnes' wife.
I'm making fun of this too
Barnes' fate after his call remains a mystery. What perplexes me is this shard of the mayor's spirit. Where is the remainder? What catastrophe could have fragmented Marc Aielli so? To obtain the answers I seek, I must locate a fitting host, one capable of sustaining it. And I believe I've identified the ideal candidate. Thanks to my previous thorough investigation into Mayor Croft's medical records in search of potential vulnerabilities, I've learned he harbors a sizable...
What's that actor's name? Gary Busey. He looks like... It's just Gary Busey. I'll do it. I'll take the horse demon. I don't think that was a good impression. You know, you can Google it. It's this far in the video. Google who Gary Busey is. That's who he looks like. Editing Nick, do not put it on the screen. Make them work for it.
Benign tumor on his back, the remnants of a parasitic twin. Croft, with his corruption and moral decay, might serve as the ideal incubator.
Why do we have to have a dying twin on his back? That didn't add anything to the story.
Needed for this remnant of Marc Aielli to regain its strength. I've scheduled a press event at the Thompson residence, ostensibly to clarify the ongoing financial investigations tied to the Thompson family and their supposed illegal constructions. This is merely a facade to lure Croft, who will get dressed up for the opening of an envelope. The press involved are under my influence and sworn to secrecy. They will not report the true nature of what transpires.
Yeah, sure.
As for Croft, it's unlikely he'll survive long enough to recount his experiences, should his parasitic twin begin to flourish within him.
Oh.
This will inevitably create a vacuum of power, and as deputy mayor, I am poised to fill it.
Mayor Croft, we're setting up just through here. Please mind your step. We're ready for you whenever you are, sir.
All right. Let's get this over with.
She's not even the mayor? She's the assistant mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. That's all we need.
Did I miss that piece?
Regina will pay for dragging me into this mess. This whole press event was her doing. And that godforsaken place beneath the Thompson house. What the hell was that? I've seen some strange things in this town, but that was different.
How are they like flying through the forest? Horse! Veiny horse!
Doc, this past week I've been experiencing strange hallucinations and voices in my head. And this lump on my back, it's tender and feels like it's growing.
We'll need to run some tests to get to the bottom of this. Until we get the results, I recommend you take a few days off from campaigning.
Mayor Croft, I'm afraid the scans and tests are conclusive. The tumor on your back is no longer benign. It's growing and needs immediate surgical intervention.
Right then, Mayor Croft. Please start counting down from 10.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Bye.
Regina.
Why? She had too many teeth. So I have like so there's fears. Like I have a fears of heights and like the deep ocean. I can't go onto tall buildings and stuff because I will black out. I wish I didn't. I'm terrified of flying. I'm terrified of being up in the sky when it's not made from the earth. Top of a mountain, solid as a rock, because it is a rock, and it's solid as one. Things that creep me the fuck out is just when there's teeth involved. You dentists out there, y'all are weird. There are these things, this toy line right now called like fugglers or something. Like it sounds bad. What a fuggler? Are you kidding? Why do they have human teeth? I hate it. Whose kid is buying these? Like I know gross out toys and creepy like boy toys were like a thing way back when, but this is like, these are horrific. These are like you know the material, like a plasticky, like you know the material that like teddy bear eyes are made of. These feel like that, and they're human teeth, and they're just here. Why? I don't like teeth. Except I have seen the movie Teeth, which is, it's not a good movie, but it's a weird horror movie. If you've never heard of it, let's just say this girl has teeth. Screw it.
This girl has teeth in her vagina.
Bites people's dicks off. I'm not kidding. And yes, they show it. It's gross. I recommend. 10 out of 10.
My grip over Origin tightens daily. As interim mayor, with the upcoming election merely a formality, my ascendance to full power is imminent. Since Croft's demise, his parasitic twin Mara has rapidly matured into a being of peculiar intellect and devotion.
Oh, that's the new vessel. It possesses
its late brother's cunning and a fervent loyalty to me, infused with the ancient wisdom of Mark Ayeli. Mara, curiously infant-like in its dependence, yet ancient in spirit, has asked to suckle, and I allow it.
The fuck, man? So this thing acts like an infant, but has like this ancient knowledge. So it's just like, Mother, I wish to suckle upon your teat, as it is my desire. Goo goo gaga, give me the titty milk. Fucking shit, man.
I am nurturing a god. Mara speaks of Mahka Ayeli as if it were a constant companion, an imaginary friend advising its every move.
100%.
The Mara's memories, a tangled echo of Croft's twin, and a remnant slither of Mahk Ayeli's ancient consciousness are murky. Its insights are invaluable. Mara recounts Douglas's brush with success. The Thompson trenches had weakened the Stygian void sufficiently to provoke Mahk Ayeli into attempting a reunification with its original corporeal form.
What?
Douglas had engineered a rudimentary interface for this purpose, beginning the process by removing the bridle from the mare, thus extracting Mahk Ayeli's consciousness.
This is a
He
lot
was
of lore.
poised to integrate this consciousness with the interface when Susan intervened. Armed with a segment of a potent talisman, she fatally wounded Douglas and fled deeper into the extension, taking the bridle with her.
I don't think your arm's supposed to look like that.
With the bridle and Susan obscured somewhere within the labyrinth of the extension, our situation teeters on a knife edge. The extension, now a lethargic sentinel, indiscriminately lethal to those who dare its depths. As such, we must deploy expeditions, expendable teams to probe its secrets and locate Susan. Many lives may be sacrificed, yet their efforts could yield invaluable knowledge. I must devise new strategies to liberate the corporeal, consciousness-infused form of Makayeli from the Stygian void now that the Thompson trenches are no longer keening and the wrens they created are healing. Can Origin's residents serve as the keening choir to breach the void? It's an enticing prospect, but premature. My priority remains locating Susan, the bridle, and the mayor's remains. I'm initiating the interviews for the Alpha expedition immediately. We'll sift through every candidate to assemble a team resilient and resourceful enough for the formidable task ahead. My resolve is firm. I will not rest until Susan Thompson is located. Every hidden corridor and shadowed corner of the extension will be explored. Susan and the bridle she took with her must be recovered at all costs.
Okay, so that put into perspective a lot of things, and I want to explain them. But really quick, all of the stuff, all the videos we've been watching with Mayor Green and stuff, I just realized those have been taking place, and I just realized the first video said June 4th, didn't it? Because all the events took place on July 4th and to the 20th of 1978. The Mayor Green knew all along. She was working with Makayeli to get him a new, or her, whatever, to get it a new vessel because the horse was dying. And so she manipulated Douglas to craft these trenches, or to start making so much extension that it had to force Makayeli's hand, be like, hey, fucking stop and just use your imagination to make me a body. So he made the horse robot. He was about to do the thing and put the thing in the thing, and then Susan was like, I have the magical who's what's it. So no, I'm going to kick your ass. And then she kicked his ass, and now she stole the bridle, which, whoop-de-doo, we have another MacGuffin, a bridle you put on a horse to, ride it. Whatever. It's a thing for horse riding. She took it somehow, somewhen. So the mayor was like, I have this, weird blob baby that's really smart and just sucks on my tits all day because I love it. I'm going to now get expeditions to investigate this shit now that they're gone. I'm going to start with the Alpha expedition, which we covered a long time ago. She's like, we're going to find the right candidate to go down there that's not going to be affected. Holloway was picked because of his resilience. The other researchers succumbed to it, and they weren't up to snuff to get there. But Holloway was. And I think this is where she finds him. Dude, you were driving in the middle of the road. Double yellow line. You do not cross. I'm sorry. I may be straight, but I know an attractive man when I see one. I heard the magnum opus.
Holloway, thank you for coming on such short notice.
Thank you.
I understand you have a background in anthropology, correct?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm over the top of my reactions. I am crashing
out.
out.
On various archaeological sites, focusing on the narratives that artifacts hold about their cultures. It's fascinating to uncover the silent stories objects can tell us.
And how, Mr. Holloway, do you find these stories? It seems quite a unique skill.
It's a combination of research, intuition, and a lot of patience. I like to think I have a knack for hearing what isn't spoken aloud. It's all about the context.
Damn,
and
what
the
a head of
details.
Interesting. And what have you heard about the position you're applying for at the Thompson property?
I've heard bits and pieces, rumors really. Something about it being quite secretive and challenging.
Sounds like the voice of Master
Chief. Can you tell me
Chief.
more about what exactly the Thompson extension is?
Unfortunately, details
Slayer.
are on a need-to-know basis, Mr. Holloway. What I can tell you is that it involves significant exploration
I've given
and
the Covenant back
documentation.
their bomb.
The nature of this exploration, however, must remain confidential until you're officially on board.
I understand. I've also heard rumors about the previous expeditions. Some say they didn't end well.
Oh, you know how people love to gossip. I assure you,
one of them
whatever you've heard has
became their
likely been
home
exaggerated.
foundation with pipes in their
We
throat.
take the utmost care with all our teams.
Pays $50K a year.
Despite the rumors, I'm very excited about the opportunity. I believe I can contribute significantly to uncovering whatever.
Thank you, Mr. Holloway. I've heard enough.
Oh.
Rude.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
You're exactly what we need. Welcome to Epsilon Team, Mr. Holloway. Can you start tonight?
Tonight? Yes, of course. I'm ready.
Excellent. My secretary will show you out and provide you with all the necessary details for this evening.
This was a normal human interaction.
Let's hope you find what you're not looking for.
This is Dr. Adrian Holloway.
I guess it
Audio
fits.
log number 3. It's my third day in the initial section of the Thompson extension, officially designated as fresh.
Now we have the full picture. Because now we know all of the expeditions were frivolous.
I need to keep moving. The truth of what happened to Susan, what she did, it's here. I can feel it calling to me. This place wants to show me, and I can't. I won't turn away now. Whatever lies ahead, I must face it. Susan's story, her sacrifice, it deserves to be known. And I need to know if there's any part of her left to save.
Part 10's over. We now have the full scope. Mayor Green's been in it the whole time. I didn't realize she was the assistant mayor. She then tricked the current mayor, Mayor Croft, who, for some reason, just had, a parasitic twin living on his back. Just a little bit of info that we needed to know, or the fact that there was an actual mayor named Mayor Croft. She then forced him to go under anesthesia, where the parasitic twin took over the body, and Machiavelli, the demon, not Tokaboka, that's the name of the horse that Machiavelli used to possess. Machiavelli, he now possesses this blob baby, which is a very well breastfed baby. They now are trying to have a new vessel because Douglas was too busy finger popping his own asshole with a pine cone and making big titty anime sex dolls set up in his little auditorium and be like, look what I made. Now suck my And then Susan just came in and kicked ass. Came in, she goes, Douglas, you, I'm gonna kill you, and I'm going further, and I'm going to become God. So let's go to part Susan for the finale of the Thompson extension. Susan, let's go. Part Susan, baby. Part Susan is here because this last video is called the Susan Thompson extension. It all comes full circle. Who is in control? Susan's in control. Let's hear what she has for us.
After what seemed an eternity wading through the oppressive, twisted tunnels of the Thompson
Wow, that's
extension,
actually really pretty.
A sudden change in the atmosphere halted me. The dank, vile air transformed, infused with a freshness that carried the scent of a forest, the sounds of birds, and the gentle lap of water. My instincts screamed illusion, yet the camera lens revealed an astonishing truth. The tunnel had given way to the open shore of a lake, seemingly nestled within a forest. Impossible given my location deep beneath Origin, but vividly real. The bird songs, the forest aroma.
That's what the back rooms be doing, baby.
It was overwhelmingly authentic. This transition from the claustrophobic confines of the extension to this serene lakeside marked a shift from Douglas's nightmarish vision to something else entirely. This was Susan's sanctuary, her own extension shaped not by Douglas's twisted fantasies, but by her own dreams and desires.
Yes.
The remnants of the oppressive extension dissolved into this lakeside retreat, complete with a quaint lake house across the water. The air...
Holy shit, y'all. I just remembered, in Susan's diaries, she mentioned once, like, I remember I loved when we all got to go to the lake that one time. I wonder if we'll ever get to go again. She made her own lake and her own retreat by the lake. Susan.
Filled with the scent of strawberries, faint laughter echoing across the lake, a welcomed contrast to the dark underbelly from which I had emerged. Drawn irresistibly forward, I crossed the threshold into a structure that was a confluence of Susan and Douglas's extensions. It was an odd space where the tranquility of the lakeside retreat met the dark aesthetic of the Thompson extension. Here, draped in purple, sat Susan, radiant as the photograph had suggested.
Oh, the purple, the color of royalty.
Before a panoramic window that offered an idyllic view of the lake. Despite the surreal beauty, the bridle around her neck, adorned with ancient symbols and a bit in her mouth, did not detract from her ethereal presence. Her smile.
Oh, wait a minute.
Turned to me as...
Is a bridle like a ball gag? All right, now I gotta look it up. To Google. They look like penises. There's no cock like horse cock. Just the thing that goes around their head to like have the reins where you go, hi-ya. Oh, wait a minute. It's like the thing Nezuko wears in Demon Slayer. Demon Hunters? Slayers? Hunters Slayer. The anime. I still need to see the movie. No spoilers. I am caught up. I just need to find time to go to the theater.
As I approached, her voice, though her lips did not move, filled my mind with a melodic welcome. She expressed joy at my arrival, revealing she had long awaited this moment. Pointing to her heart, she directed my gaze to a shard embedded deeply within her, glinting ominously. A stone dagger, the source of her eternal torment and her salvation. Compelled by her request, I moved to help, to pull the dagger from her heart and end her suffering. Yet as my fingers brushed the material, identical to the crystal shard on my camera, a rush of clarity halted my actions. Stepping back, Susan's expression twisted into one of anger, yet she remained painfully beautiful. With a deep breath, I raised the camera, filtering reality through the lens. The image shifted dramatically, Susan no longer the embodiment of beauty, but a withered ancient crone, barely recognizable as human. In that moment, I understood. The real Susan had become a host to Mashk Ayeli. A sudden clarity cut through the fog of my thoughts. I knew what I had to do. The bridle, not the dagger, was the key to freeing Susan. Seeing my resolve, the entity within her, Mashk Ayeli, realized my intent. Susan's voice, once soft and melodic, twisted into a hideous keening that reverberated through my skull, the sound so piercing it felt like it was melting my brain. It was a desperate, malevolent wail, a final attempt to shatter my will. The bridle that bound her was not just worn, it was fused to her flesh, its tendrils writhing as if alive, desperate to hold on. As I reached out, those tendrils tightened, resisting with a grotesque vitality, their grip like the limbs of a disturbed insect. My hands shook as I grasped the bridle, the keening growing louder, more frantic. With a determined pull,
and I mounted Susan and said, "Hey-ya!"
Each tendril retracting slowly, unwillingly, as if clinging to life itself. The process was horrific, the tendrils curling and twitching, finally falling away with a shudder, expelling what felt like its last breath. Freed from the bridle, Susan's appearance shifted from the enchanting illusion to that of a pallid, sickly woman, the weight of her years and torments now visible on her face.
What have you done?
Gratitude and joy filled her eyes, though she struggled to speak, her voice stolen by the injuries the bridle and bit had inflicted.
Yeah.
Tears ran down her cheeks as she reached out, and I, gloveless, took her hand.
Gloveless.
In that touch, I saw her journey. A
My
vision
raw
of Susan
hand
entering this nightmarish sanctuary, her resolve steeled by the dagger she carried as she donned the bridle. She had done this with a singular purpose, to confront Mak Ayeli and to reclaim the souls of her daughters, stolen years before.
Oh, right.
But Susan was not like any other host the entity had ever encountered. She was powerful, far more so than Mak Ayeli had anticipated.
That's fucking right.
It was her inner light, the very essence that had once torn through the Stygian void that allowed Douglas to manifest the extension in the first place.
I was right!
This light was her strength, a force that Mak Ayeli sought to consume and dominate.
They were conflicting powers!
Her once it claimed her body, Mak Ayeli agreed to her terms, but Susan had one final act of rebellion planned. The moment her daughters' souls were returned to her, she plunged the dagger into her heart, hoping to destroy both herself and Mak Ayeli. Yet the entity, desperate to survive, ensnared them in a twisted stalemate, refusing to let her die. Trapped in this limbo, Susan used the last of her strength to create a sanctuary, a place of solace where her daughters could play by the lake house they had once visited, untouched by the horrors that had consumed her. As I stood there, holding her hand, I felt the weight of her sacrifice, the incredible strength she had wielded against the darkness within her, and the unimaginable burden she had borne to keep her daughters safe. Now, Susan's weary eyes met mine, and she gently guided my hand to the dagger still embedded in her heart. Her silent plea was clear: end it, once and for all.
Fuck, Susan.
I nodded, our understanding unspoken. Together we pushed the dagger deeper. A soft sigh escaped her lips, a sound of release and finality, as her gaze shifted to the window, where the serene lake and the distant shore of the lake house shimmered before her. A peaceful smile crossed her face as she passed, her spirit finally freed from the torment that had held her captive for so long. With trembling hands, I gently closed her eyes and turned my gaze to where she had been looking. Across the lake, 3 figures stood by the shore, a woman and 2 children, their forms glowing with an ethereal light, a white fox standing proudly beside them.
I don't get the fox thing.
Their silhouettes delicate and otherworldly, like candles flickering in the wind. Tears streamed down my face as the scent of strawberries filled the air, a bittersweet reminder of the love that had driven Susan to such lengths. Then, with a thunderous roar, the lake and the forest imploded into themselves, a dazzling display of light and shadow, as if the world itself was folding inward. The blinding flash was accompanied by a hauntingly beautiful melody, an intoxicating song that resonated deep within my soul. When the light finally faded, the lake house, the lake, and all its inhabitants were gone, leaving nothing but the void, a vast, empty darkness that stretched out before me. Susan and her girls were free at last. Their suffering, their entrapment within the twisted dreamscape of the extension, was over. The sanctuary Susan had created in her final act of defiance had been their salvation, and now their release into peace was complete. But I knew this wasn't the end. As long as Mak Ayeli existed within the bridle, the nightmare would continue. Carefully, I removed the dagger from Susan's chest, the weight of my task pressing heavily upon me. I gathered up my camera and the bridle, knowing what I had to do. Mak Ayeli would have its host, the skew-bald mare it had inhabited for so long. And now it would die within it.
Turn to glue, f***er. Yeah, Susan. Mak Ayeli was trying to use Susan, but Susan was the source of the extension. It was her emotions that unlocked it and got Mak Ayeli to come through, and he's like, oh, I want that fucking power. So he's trying to take over her, but she's like, She used that fucking mom strength and was like, I'm gonna stab myself in the heart with magic glass and trap you in me, and we'll die together. Return my daughter's souls. No. I'm gonna stab myself. Susan, what a badass. She kicked her husband's ass, killed his ass, I think, or left him for dead, left him to suffer, loved her children so much, even though I'm thinking back to when Susan is there and she's like, my kids, like, it's so overwhelming. I don't know if I don't know. I just don't know. I just want to run away from them. Yes, those feelings do come up as a parent. Things get overwhelming. Things get stressful. You're like, oh, if I didn't have kids, things would be different. And those moments come, they're fleeting. Machiavelli was like trying to convince her to like give herself over to the extension, like let go like everyone else had. But she was like, I don't like this. No, my kids are more important. Douglas, did you hear that he like shoves pine cones up his ass? Like, I mean, what a great ending. If that was the ending, there's one more video that came out pretty recently. She's here. Let's find out why.
The extension is unraveling.
Judy!
Every step I take back through the throbbing corridors is a battle against nausea and disorientation. The ground groans beneath me.
My God, what the fuck is that?
With unpredictable tremors that buckle the carpeted floors and fracture the walls. Above, the drapes peel and twist like flayed muscle.
So is he leaving?
Glimpses of impossible architecture shifting behind them. I grip the bridle tightly in one gloved hand.
Okay, yeah.
Even so, it hums against my skin. The thing within it, Mac Ayeli, is stirring.
The aftermath.
Flashes keep searing across my vision. Douglas's final moments. Susan kneeling at the lake's edge. Children laughing one moment.
What was that?
Screaming the next. The gloves aren't helping. It's the bridle. It wants to speak, to plead, to tempt. It wants a host.
No.
I press on. Eventually, the corridor opens into the same chamber I passed through before. The auditorium is silent, heavy with the same strange tension. At its center, the biomechanical structure shaped like a colossal horse's head still stands. The women remain seated in rows around it. Their bodies are slack, melting into their chairs, expressions fixed in half-formed smiles. I try not to look too long at their faces.
Me neither.
Beneath the structure, the mare is still there. She shifts, just barely.
She shifts.
Her ribs press sharply through the thin skin, and her legs tremble against the ground. From somewhere deep in her chest, I hear a sound. It isn't a whinny or a breath. It's low and uneven.
Is it a
almost
keening?
Like something stuck in a drain. It seems to come from her throat and her lungs at once. It doesn't stop.
Isn't that how you talk?
The air in the room feels warmer now.
The fuck?
Not with heat, but with pressure. Something is gathering. Waiting.
Who was that?
I approach with grim determination. The bridle slips easily over her skull.
Oh my God!
The ancient leather drawing tight like a second skin. The
animation,
bit
this
slides
video work's
into
getting
her
way better.
Mouth with a sickening snap. Her body convulses. Tendrils of sinew and cable surge through her, knitting broken ligaments. Her limbs twitch like a foal's, struggling to bear her weight. Mac Ayeli is returning to its original prison. I draw the dagger. The crystal gleams with a light that feels older than time. I lift it to the mare's throat.
Kill the horse. Kill the horse.
The world explodes.
I'm sorry, what?
A thunderous quake throws me across the chamber. The dagger spins from my grasp.
No!
I crash to the floor, skidding on broken tile and bone, the breath knocked from my lungs. I scramble to rise, but the mare is stirring now. Pulling herself upright in jerky, spasmodic movements, wires snapping and skin stretching. Her eyes are vacant, but something watches from within. I lunge for the dagger. A crack. Something punches my shoulder, hot and crushing. I collapse.
Oh no!
Blood runs down my side.
Oh no!
I can't feel my arm. I look up. She's here.
Who's she? Who is that? Who is it? Ah, it's her! What? It's it? Did I miss something here?
Did I miss something here?
I've made a discovery, and it's a discovery. We're going to switch to the conclusion section of this video. So let's take a walk. We need to take a walk. Let's not crash out yet. Come on, we're taking one more walk to end this off. We're taking a walk. You thought the guy in the suit was coming back? No, it's me, Crash Out Nick. We have some stuff to find. This is serious business. I have made an unfortunate discovery. The discovery I didn't want to make. So I found what I was not looking for. I found it. Oh, I found it, all right. You know what it was? I missed this many fucking videos. This many videos. It explains all the shit that I don't understand. So, this is the end of part 1. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to find this. Am I happy? Kinda. Am I frustrated? Yes. Because I've done this twice. And I still didn't get it right. So, this is Nick's justifiable crash out to learn that he missed the unofficial playlist, which contained dozens upon dozens of other videos that explain what fucking Machiavelli is, what the Ricky-Toby is in the horse, why the horse is a horse, and all the interweaving, conniving, the thing about Nellie in the picture, and I didn't understand half of it. It's all explained. It was just hidden away. I don't know. Oh, it's making me sweaty. Here's the plan. I literally discovered this as I was filming this ending. We are crashing out because we are taking this plane and we are crashing it into the ground. So, what are we doing? We're going to sum up the story we know from the information I have available. I didn't know that he was still concurrently making the series. There was an episode that came out a couple days ago. I had notifications on. In conclusion, what do we know about the Thompson extension? We do know it's a backroom-esque nightmare that doesn't make fucking sense. I told you this thing was a non-Euclidean nightmare because there's more. It doesn't end. It seriously doesn't end. We know the Thompsons are a weird-ass family. This motherfucker, Douglas Pinefucker Thompson, literally tried to reincarnate a horse demon to take over the world. Also, we have a lady, I forgot about the lady orbiting the Earth causing climate change for some reason. I bet that comes into play later. Susan was in control of the entire Thompson extension, as far as we know. However, the reason she was able to do that was because this motherfucker, Jack Caverman, found a magic mushroom called the Black Umbra and turned it into a liquid synthetic called 017X. What does that mean? Who fucking cares? So, this thing makes you trip balls. Douglas was addicted to it. He would go down in his little basement, jerk himself off with this stuff, and so he did it so much that he neglected his family and didn't give a shit. So he unknowingly let free the horse demon into their reality, which manifested itself as the extension with the horse inside it somehow. I'm sure it's explained. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's explained. So sorry for following the official playlist. The playlist was out of order already. It was already told out of order. The story is non-Euclidean. You have to find it. You have to seek it. The extension is an extension of you. You enter that place. It becomes you. Your deepest, most perverse desires are exploited and tempted to become reality. And that's where it gets you. It pulls you in, and then it uses your body however it wants. Remember this lady? It's animated now. Ew. Mayor Green somehow learned of this parasitic twin on the official mayor. I didn't know she was the assistant mayor. She orchestrated this twin to take over the vessel for Machiavelli, and it possessed ancient knowledge which told her of this extension and what to do and how to do it, all while it suckled on her breast like a weird-ass mother And this thing said, you need to find someone that can get to the horse without going crazy. And who was that? Mr. Lumberjack Hot Guy himself, Holloway. Dr. Holloway, an anthropologist. He was able to overcome the temptations of the extension. What did he do? He found a magic piece of glass that fixed everything. So we know nothing. We know nothing. Holy shit, where am I? Hello? I think I'm stuck in here. We know nothing about this story. It's all hidden and told in an out-of-order way that is impossible to make sense. It repeats itself over and over again. It's told in different animation styles. It's told with AI. It's told not with AI. The story drives you crazy. The only certainty we have in the Thompson extension, is that Susan, God bless Susan. Susan is a goddess manifest and was a threat. And she literally kicked its ass. She said, if you want to take me and my family, you're going down with me. All we know is that if you're ever in a pinch, you call Susan Thompson, because she will kick someone's ass and stab them with a crystal spear, and then stab herself with a crystal spear. You know why? To kill a demon that was living inside her. Not metaphorical. A real one. And she reunited with her daughters on her lakefront. That was her favorite vacation she ever took, and she got to live that fantasy for the rest of her fucking eternity with her children. And shout out to Judy. Love Judy. All we know is Susan is free, and I am not. I'm still a slave to the extension because there's so much. There's so much more. So much unanswered. It's not even done. The story's never done. It continues eternally. Eternally. It's like walking up the MC Escher stairs, MC Hammer stairs. Can't touch this. You can't touch this. It's hammer time. Thank you for watching. I'll be here until the next video. Stuck. So much left unanswered. Please don't forget to subscribe. The more subscribers I have, maybe I'll get a chance of leaving this hellish nightmare. So everyone, please don't forget to subscribe to me. I would love to have more of an audience and to know who you are. I'm trying to live stream at least once a week. Just please subscribe. I'm going to try and find a way fucking out of here. See you in the next one. It's not like I'm going anywhere. Oh, hey, a quarter. It's a loop.